Building community with Busey Bank. Beyond the game. And by St. Luke's Hospital. St. Louis's #1 heart hospital.
All right, guys, good to be with you here on a Thursday. Man, first Redbird Rush Hour of the week. This happens when the Cardinals go out east. You know, we don't get a chance to do this. So today we have Redbird Rush Hour for this hour. And then, of course, Sports Open Line following that. Good to see you, Matt Pauley.
Good to see you as well.
Everything good?
Yeah.
Well, it's better after the outcome today because that was like two different games in one inning.
It felt like the ninth inning started a brand new game.
Yeah, actually, that was almost three games because you had the first game, which was a really low-scoring, kind of tight pitchers battle, and then the Reds blew up. The sixth inning happened, and after that, it was like, oh, well, one of those games.
Yeah.
And then the Cardinals got a really good break with Dane Myers dropping a fly ball that would have been the final out of the game. That allowed the Cardinals to take the lead. The rally just piled up from there. And you end up being able to hold on, which is the best way to put it. They held on.
They did, and you're glad they won. It was somewhat of a gifted win. I talked with people over the last couple of days how upset they were that the Cardinals lost the two games that they did lose in the series. It evens out a little bit.
This one was your payback for giving a game away. You got one here.
Yeah, so that's kind of where you're at. You win the series. At the end of the day, you win the series.
5 series in a row?
Yeah, just keep winning series and everything's going to be fine. It was not easy today. Again, what happened in the outfield today is rarely ever going to happen.
And Myers is a pretty good defender.
But they're a bad fielding team.
Oh, no,
overall.
They are overall. They're awful.
Yeah.
They're awful. They are one of the worst in the game.
And something that hasn't been talked about a lot, but because the Reds scored so many runs in their half of the ninth, that play over at first base with Stewart with the ball, that allowed 2 more runs to score.
Yeah.
Sal Stewart not making that play ends up being
Which one?
The bouncer.
That was Michael Tolia.
Was that Tolia?
Tolia was at first. They had Stewart at second base today.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So,
but Tolia missed a head-high hop that would have kept the score lower. Although at that point you go straight to O'Brien though, instead of Soriano. But then again, O'Brien wasn't very good today either.
He wasn't. Although a guy starting an inning and a guy coming in the middle of the inning.
A lot of closers are better when they start the inning and they don't have traffic to start with and all that. But still.
And I know you guys touched on it a little bit during the Glover show. I thought it was a missed opportunity for Ollie to give high leverage relievers some time off when they went to Soriano.
So let's talk about this because we got a couple of texts already on. There's a couple of messages on it, and John Reese put it out there. 5 games in 4 days. The bullpen's thrown 17 and 2/3 innings, gave up 10 runs plus 3 inherited runners from McGreevy. Only used 7 bullpen arms. Why is Ferguson on the team? Well, that leads to what you're setting up because he was warming up alongside George Soriano when the Cardinals went up by 5.
Yeah, and I felt like there were 3 options there. You could leave Strzelecki in.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had been told yet that you're done, but
or if he told them he's cooked.
Maybe.
Because he pitched 3 innings the other day, yeah.
You could have left Strzelecki in. You could have gone to Ferguson, or you could have gone to Soriano. And I think going to Soriano was my least favorite of those 3 options because worst case scenario, this is how it played out, if things don't go well, you're still going to get to O'Brien anyways.
Yeah.
So instead of using 2 leverage guys, you use 1 leverage guy.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think John asks the great question. If you're not going to use Ferguson in that scenario, 5-run lead, he is by far your most rested arm in the bullpen. He has thrown 1 inning since August 11th. It's August 20th. You've played 10 games in those 9 days. He's only thrown 1 inning in those 9 days. And he's not an option with a 5-run lead? If he's not, and my take on this is, I understand that they traded $250,000 in international bonus pool money to get him. But if you can't use him in this scenario, your bullpen is gassed. Your starters are not getting past the 5th inning very often, if at all.
Yesterday, Liberatore was forced to pitch the 6th inning because you didn't have bullpen
You didn't think
guys.
you had arms.
Yeah.
If you can't use Ferguson during this stretch, then why is he here?
Yeah, and I don't have an answer to that question.
I know he's been bad. I mean, look, we can all see he's walked the house since he's become a Cardinal. I mean, has he even pitched a game yet without a walk? Oh, yeah, he had one. He had one game. The other ones were, but he had back-to-back outings that were 3-walk outings.
Of his last 3 outings, he's only recorded an out in one of them.
Yeah.
So, it hasn't been good. In 2 of the 3 outings, no outs recorded and 3 walks in each. His last time out was a little bit better when he gave up a run on a hit against the Cubs in 1 inning.
Yeah, and
that's not good, obviously.
I know this isn't like the lead story. There are more important stories for us to touch on as we go. But this was a big part of today, and it's a big part of this series. You just had a 5-game series in 4 days, and one reliever didn't pitch at all.
Yeah.
You don't trust him at all. You don't trust him with a 5-run lead in the 9th inning, whereas you pointed out, you nailed it, Matt. If the inning goes sideways with him, it's the same outcome as if it goes sideways with Soriano. And last I checked, Soriano hadn't pitched well lately.
No, it's been kind of 50-50 for Soriano. You don't know if you're going to get good Soriano or not so good Soriano. So I thought there was more value in give Soriano another day going into a really, really tough series against Philadelphia. Put Ferguson in there. If it blows up on you, you go to O'Brien. Guess what? It blew up on you today with Soriano, and you went to O'Brien.
Yeah, and look, I think one of the things that Ollie has done very well as a manager is run the bullpen.
I do too. I think it's one of his greatest strengths.
Yeah, but doesn't mean he got it right today.
No, I disagree with the way he made the decision today. And by the way, sidebar, for those of you who were with me on extra innings last night, another example of me having no problem saying when I disagree with the manager.
Yeah. Look, overall, I think he does a good job, which is why it's still fair to criticize, because what you're supposed to do when you're covering a team, a player, a manager, is give credit where credit is due and criticize where criticism is due. That's the job.
Yeah.
That's what you do. And that's what this is. This is not, and this isn't second guessing either, because you and I were sitting there watching the game with Dave Glover and with Andrew Stoles. We were sitting there saying in real time, this should not be Soriano. This is where you use Ferguson.
Right. Our first thing was like, hey, does Strzelecki come back?
Yeah.
Well, and then, if not Strzelecki, it's got to be Ferguson. Why was Ferguson even warming?
I don't know,
He was warming. Did it need to be a 6-run lead, a 7-run lead, an 8-run lead? Like, how many more runs did the Cardinals have to score for the guy that you had? What are the Cardinals doing with double-barreled action in a 5-run game in the 9th inning?
I don't know. When you've got the 5-run lead, maybe they got him up late. Maybe he didn't get up soon enough and he wasn't going to be ready.
I don't take Caleb Ferguson as being a guy who takes a long time.
No, I
to get
agree.
ready.
I'm just trying to think out loud. Like, why? Like, that's the scenario for that guy.
Yeah.
That's when you were trying to use Matt Swanson when he was here and when he was struggling. You want to get in those situations where 4 or 5-run cushion gives them the chance to pitch, and if they can't get out of it, okay, you've got your closer waiting. But now, because of the path, not only did you have to use your closer for the 3rd time in 4 days, which means he's probably not okay for Philly tomorrow.
Right.
Because he didn't go well today either. He threw more pitches than you'd like for only a handful of batters because he was walking the house. So now not only do you have to use O'Brien, but Soriano's probably down tomorrow too.
Yeah,
or limited if not down.
I never loved and I get that just the conditions of that game, that it may have been a 5-run game. It didn't feel like a 5-run game, and the Reds proved that the way they played. But that being said, using one of your leverage arms in what is a non-leverage situation, that's not one of my favorite things to see a team do.
No, unless that's a pitcher that hasn't pitched in a while.
Yeah.
You give them that one off, and you take the risk that your low-leverage guy, in this case Ferguson, isn't going to blow it. But if he starts to blow it, like we said, you had your closer available. And you probably didn't want to go to him anyway because you probably didn't want to do 3 times in 4 days. But now you did it anyway, and you're going to be even more limited going into Philly. And, look, I guess, what, are you going to unleash Caleb Ferguson on the Phillies? I mean, they do have a lefty-heavy lineup.
Yeah.
But, but this is the point. In a 5-run lead, your odds of still winning that game are probably 90-95%.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So now you're going to be put into a situation where you might have to use him in the 6th or 7th inning of a tie game, and he comes in and walks the house. Now you lose the game. So that's 2 games to get 1 win instead of just taking the risk, which is a low percentage risk with a 5-run lead going into the bottom of the 9th.
Right. And again, the if it goes poorly, you're still in the same spot you were in anyway.
That's right. That's exactly the point.
With one less leverage pitcher used.
And it's incredibly unlikely that Ferguson would have gone worse than Soriano did.
I would agree.
Because he wouldn't have been in there long enough to be worse than that.
Yeah, I mean, once it turns into a save situation.
Right, once it turns
there.
Right.
So probably that would have been one less batter than what Soriano got.
Yeah, I'm very confused about that. They won, so,
It's all that matters.
But that doesn't mean it's not going to impact you tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah, and they're at the brink right now where you have to save the bullets from the relief pitchers if you can.
Yeah, and we talked about it earlier. We won't get into it now, but there's just not many options. You could call up Ryan Fernandez,
who's been pitching well lately.
Yeah, and I want him here.
Me too.
And I wouldn't worry if Peter Strzelecki doesn't clear waivers. Fine. I mean,
but he's done a really nice job.
No, he has. But he's a guy. He's 31. He's not a part of your future. He's 31 years old. He's a space filler for 2026 because you're short.
His ability. The only area I would push back on you, Kevin, is this team doesn't have enough guys that can cover multiple innings.
Yeah.
And Strzelecki has been covering multiple innings.
No, I
get it. There is value in that.
I get it. But either that or just don't have the guy here you're not going to use. We don't need the break glass in case of emergency guy. You need to use him. Otherwise, you're going to continue to run into these problems.
I agree.
All right, so we got to talk about that a little bit more, but I think we're going to stay, I think we covered that thing. We're going to talk more pitching. We'll talk about McGreevy. Some interesting McGreevy stuff. His third time through the order stuff is not good this year, but he's also been significantly worse when Jimmy Crooks catches, but it's also timing. Like, Crooks has only been up for a period of time, so maybe it's the second half of the year catching up on McGreevy. We're going to talk some offense. Good to see Jordan Walker figuring things out. We'll talk a bit about Joshua Baez learning what Major League Baseball life is all about in his first week as a major leaguer. A lot to do on Redbird Rush Hour. Stick around. Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here on KMOX.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
This is the run my own business dream. This is the college is paid for dream. This is the retire early dream. This is Busey, where your dreams and possibilities become moments. Through trusted guidance and expertise, through lifelong relationships. Because we're here to help you achieve the life you've always envisioned. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, there's still no change on Highway 70 in the Wentzville area with our serious tractor-trailer crash. This traffic report is a service of Ricken Financial, so we need to talk about our USPS Ground Advantage reliable route. Eastbound 70 is shut down at Wentzville Parkway, just east of it, actually, and it's a solid jam back to Wright City, almost right at the Wright City exit there. So you can get off as soon as you can, which is Wright City. The North Service Road or Veterans Memorial Parkway, which is the South Service Road, really look pretty good most of the way into Wentzville. Those are not bad options for you. I can't believe nobody else is doing it, but if you want, you can go south on Highway F down to Highway M and then take M and jog over to T and take T down to N, and that'll get you over into the Lake St. Louis area. N doesn't look too bad either, most of the way into Wentzville, and really just as you get into the Lake St. Louis area proper is where it starts to get congested. So you have several options there to avoid that eastbound 70 closure for a USPS Ground Advantage reliable route. Westbound 70 Gawkers, of course, are backed up at Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Westbound 64 is backed up at Lake St. Louis Boulevard as well. Southbound 170, an incident at Page, backed up at Midland, then it's heavy Olive to 64, South 270, Olive down to 44, slow. Southbound 141 still backed up, Helfrich into Valley Park, but it's doing better down through the area south of Bowles, so that's good news. If you're on the Illinois side, 64 between 159 and 255, you've got delays. Westbound 64 Kings Highway out through McCausland and Clarkson to Topgolf before you get to that jam at Lake St. Louis Boulevard. And southbound 55, Butler Hill to Merrimack Bottom and midway down from M to Z's heavy. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Income is the outcome that matters the most in retirement. Join us for Kickin' with the Rickens, Redefining Retirement with Jerry Ricken and Heidi Ricken Provost every Saturday at 3 p.m. right here on KMOX, and get more at rickenfinancial.com.
The best time to recommit to your gut health goals? Right now. Take charge of your gut with Nature Made. Our clinically studied ingredients support digestive health. Digestive enzymes break down nutrients. Probiotic and prebiotic fiber nourish good gut bacteria. And super greens with probiotics empower daily digestive health. Try the full lineup of gut health support from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where 24-pack Crayola crayons are just 50 cents?
Staples has folders, notebooks, and pens at great prices.
I'm smiling from ear to ear.
It's the most wonderful time.
Mom, I missed the bus of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples, where school supplies start at just 25 cents. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit your local Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
Recently, our company's softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Dale's a loser. I play to win. Like early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later.
Sound familiar, Dale?
Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Hey guys, Cam Jansen here. Don't miss a hot tub and swim spa blowout sale this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the St. Charles Convention Center in the South Hall. Choose from over 30 American-made units on display. See hot tubs, swim spas, and cold tubs all ready for immediate delivery. Save up to 50% off MSRP. Financing is available. For more information, call 1-800-SPA-SALE. That's 1-800-SPA-SALE.
Now, back to the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
Sponsored by Busey Bank. Building community with Busey Bank. Beyond the game.
All right, back in on Redbird Rush Hour here on KMOX. Matt, Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Let's talk a bit about McGreevy because he pitched today, and it was kind of a tale of two games for McGreevy, right? I mean, he was the first part of it. He was just Michael McGreevy.
Yep.
Really good, throwing a lot of strikes, managing hard contact, and then it just kind of fell apart on him in the bottom of the sixth inning. And look, I understand. Like, I have no issue with either of these days, whether it was pushing Liberatore or pushing McGreevy, because we each talked about the bullpen being worn. You need starters to go six more often than not. And when you're not getting that, you're putting that strain on the pen. I had no problem with anything that really surrounded McGreevy, except that he just got himself into a jam today. And then, of course, Stanek comes in and, gives up the dinger.
Yeah, I mean, I've maybe been the #1 defender of Ryan Stanek in St. Louis media, but today it was not good for Stanek.
And, this is a thing with McGreevy right now where I think since the All-Star game, his ERA is up over 5. I mentioned it before the break. His numbers,
post All-Star numbers, he's 1-2 with a 5.05 ERA, 293 average against in that time, and a whip at 1.5. Which
last 30 days, it's a 6 ERA, with a 327 on base against. So that's not the end of the world, the 327.
But his ERA is up. He was 3 pre-All-Star, 301.
Right.
And now he's 505.
Now, there have been some good ones mixed in there, too. Sure. It's not been all bad by any means, but he's since the All-Star game, it's been a little rougher for him.
It's also what we said, Kevin, because through the first couple months of the season, and we took grief from people who listen and watch this show, calling us haters, we kept saying, hey, look, the underlying numbers say that what he is doing is not sustainable. Now, we never said that he was going to fall completely back.
No.
I think there's some things about the Cardinals pitchers this year that the expected numbers are not really good at representing. Not. But when there is a stark difference between real numbers and expected numbers, you can expect him to fall back a little bit. And it's been the same way with McGreevy. The expected numbers really have not gotten better for him, and now we are starting to see him regress back a bit.
Yeah, and look, so before today, these are the 5 starts for McGreevy that led to today. So this is not counting today. Arizona was 4 earned runs on 7 hits and 3 walks and 6 1/3. So he gave you some length, but that's too many runs. 7 earned runs in an inning and 2/3 against the Cubs, which is basically his worst start as a major leaguer, kind of a one-off. Then it was 2 earned runs in 4 1/3, getting knocked out of the game, in 4 1/3 against the Yankees.
That was pitch count issue.
Yeah, that was
correctly.
pitch count, right?
Yep.
He had already gotten up to 91 through 4 1/3, which is obviously a problem. Then it was 3 earned runs in 5 2/3 against the Rockies, and the Rockies that was at Busch Stadium, and the Rockies at Busch on the road typically stink offensively. But that was also high pitch count, 100 pitches to get through 5 2/3. Had the really good one against the Cubs. It was 3 unearned runs, and that was it. And then today. So 4 of his last 5 starts have been pretty shaky. Shaky is nice for some of them. 1 or 2 of them were bad. Today would be more in the shaky category. It wasn't bad. It was really good for 5 innings.
Yeah.
But again, 5's not enough at this stage. And he was only like 75 through 5, right? He wasn't over pitching. He wasn't over a pitch count or really struggling.
He was at 30.
And the temperature was nice in Cincinnati today. It wasn't like 95 degrees.
He may have been at like 39 pitches through 4 innings today. He was rolling.
Yeah. So is there any concern to you? Or is it just like, is it just what we've talked about? This is just the expected numbers catching up, that he's good, probably not as good as what his real ERA says. And this is just the leveling out.
And first full season as a full-time major league starter. Last year up and down a little bit before finishing out the year. I think
but he's thrown a lot of
it.
innings, though. I mean, he's tracked this innings total many times.
Yeah, I'm not, but
I shouldn't say many, but at least several.
Taking it every 5th day in the big leagues is different than the other.
100%. Yeah. Every manager, everybody will tell you. Yeah. Doing anything at the big league level, it's a lot harder than it was, even if it's the same number of at-bats, same number of innings. The stress is higher. And the level of stress has something to do with the difficulty of the work. All right, we're going to switch over to offense coming up. We don't have any answers or solutions on the pitching side. We do have a mystery on the pitching side we can talk about a little later, too, because Hunter Dobbins is on turn for tomorrow, but the Cardinals have tomorrow listed as TBD. So we'll talk a little bit about that and what the options are if there's something going on there. Before we do that, though, let's talk about real estate. And I don't know anything about real estate. I'm not good at it. I'm not a real estate agent. But I'll tell you who knows it and knows it inside and out. And that's Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, which is why I'm telling you to call her and listen to her. She sells homes faster and for more money than the average agent. This is in part because Gloria has a database of thousands of buyers in waiting. And look, a lot of them are probably looking for a home that's like yours. You're not going to have access to that database if you don't call Gloria Liu. On top of all that, she's been doing this for more than 20 years in St. Louis. If you take the average agent, they may sell 4 or 5 homes a year. Gloria sells a home just about every other day. That's how busy they are. And Gloria comes with upfront written guarantees that she'll provide to you. She'll sell your home at a price and time frame acceptable to you, or Gloria will buy your home herself, or she'll sell your home at 100% of market value or pay you the difference. It's the total package. She is the expert. Call Gloria Liu. She has walked me through all of this. It's nails, and she will walk you through how all of this stuff works as well. 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. And by the way, she's also hiring right now, so if you're looking or someone you know is looking to kind of level up a real estate career, that same number works to call Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888. As always, seller and Gloria must agree on price and possession date.
At 5:30, this update is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Downtown at the Arch, we've got some clouds. It is 83 degrees. The United States national debt climbs to over $40 trillion, worrying some experts as they look at the federal government's expected spending over the next several years. ABC News Chief Business Correspondent Rebecca Jarvis.
This didn't happen overnight. Under both Republicans and Democrats, the government has been spending more than it makes in taxes for 26 years on everything from health care to stimulus benefits to tax cuts and spending. And just like those credit card bills, the longer you ignore it, the worse it gets, the tougher the choices.
St. Charles County Police have terminated their contract with Flock, the controversial license plate reader surveillance company. Chief of Police Kurt Friz tells KMOX a new audit system alerted them to an employee misusing the search function and says there are too few guardrails. Even with the audit system, he finds to be lacking when compared to their other camera system, Geotech.
Easier access auditing tools for us. We conduct audits every 30 days through that system.
Friz says the employee in question has resigned but is still under a criminal investigation. 9 PBS is getting its history back.
You're watching KETC Channel 9, St. Louis.
A judge has ruled the St. Louis station can recover more than 70 years of archived footage that was locked away in a data center. Channel 9 sued to get access to the massive digital archive after its cloud storage company abruptly went out of business and vanished. The station now has 30 days to work with a third-party vendor to safely retrieve the decades of local videos and photos. Record-breaking crowds leads to some long wait times at the big PGA event that's in town.
In a statement thanking fans for their unprecedented turnout to Belle Reve Country Club, the BMW Championship announced that complimentary spectator parking lots at Family Arena were nearing capacity on Thursday, calling it a testament to St. Louis and its passionate golf fans. With even more fans expected over the weekend and to avoid longer wait times, the tournament is encouraging fans to carpool whenever possible or consider using rideshare. Rideshare drops off at 175 South Mason Road at Whitfield School, steps from the main entrance. Those options, the tournament says, can help reduce congestion and make getting to and from the championship easier and more enjoyable for everyone. Also mentioned, a limited amount of upgraded parking in the O lot is available for purchase at bmwchampionship.com. At Belle Reve Country Club, Tom Ackerman, KMOX News.
The family of former University of Missouri student Riley Strain is fighting to revive a wrongful death lawsuit.
Strain disappeared during a fraternity trip to Nashville in March 2024 after being removed from a downtown bar and was later found in the Cumberland River. Authorities ruled his death an accidental drowning with alcohol listed as a contributing factor. His family has now filed an appeal after a judge dismissed the lawsuit against the fraternity and its members. Matt Pilger, Missouri Net.
No charges have been filed, but police in suburban Dallas are investigating another case in which a child was inadvertently left in a hot car. ABC's Jim Ryan says the result was fatal.
As in so many such cases, a parent picking up children from school loses track of one of them. In this incident, a 5-year-old girl was left in the car in extreme heat and would later die. Tragically,
this could really happen to anyone.
Chloe Berg is with the nonprofit Kids and Car Safety.
This is not a lapse of love, it's just a lapse of memory.
So far this year, 23 children ranging in age from 7 months to 6 years have died after being left in vehicles or getting into sweltering cars on their own. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, for tonight, clear sky, low 67 degrees. For tomorrow, sunshine, high 88. Could have a spot storm late Friday night, 69. For Saturday morning, spot storm. Otherwise, a sunny Saturday with a high of 86. Right now, it's 83 downtown. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
All Access with Ollie Marble on the Gas House Gang.
When things aren't going well, I feel like there is a responsibility to answer to it. Even the kid that apologized for yelling, "Let's go, wake up." His seats were the first seats right behind the dugout. You paid good money for those. You get the yell. So if you have an opinion, if you have questions, I'd rather take the time, especially when things aren't going the way our fan base would like, just answer those.
Ollie Marble, Tuesdays at noon on KMOX.
For decades, Morgan & Morgan has represented hundreds of thousands of people at their hour of need. Injuries on the job, car crashes, medical malpractice, and nursing home abuse, Social Security claims, dangerous drugs, and dangerous products. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason, and no firm is even close. Then we got to thinking, what if we could prevent these terrible events before they occurred? So we built the AI-powered People Protector. Simply visit peopleprotector.com and type in the product you have questions about before you buy it. Children's toys and accessories, cars, drugs, products, you name it, we got it. With our success, we decided to pay it forward for all of America. Our way of saying thank you for your trust all these years. Morgan & Morgan, protecting America. And if you've already been injured, just visit us at forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Want to make the most of your tax refund? File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it. With a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath. It's all about time.
Save time and money.
Do it now, don't wait till later. Call the top-notch renovator. It's about time.
3 days or less.
At 3-day kitchen and bath.
Hi, this is Congresswoman Ann Wagner from Missouri's 2nd District. I work every day to put more money in your pocket, secure the border, protect our shared Missouri values, and keep our communities safe. Whether it's visiting one of my public events in neighborhoods around the district or by contacting my office, I want to hear from you. If you need help with a federal agency, please contact me at wagner.house.gov.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
See more bees, wasps, or hornets around your home? Carpenter bees can damage wood structures, and wasps and hornets often hide nests inside walls. Don't risk getting stung. Let Rottler Pest Solutions protect your home and family. Call Rottler today or visit rottler.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's that time of the week. It's Building Community with Busey Bank Beyond the Game. Each week we spotlight someone making the community better through sports. This week it's a former Cardinal who's making sure kids all over the community get exposed to the game of baseball. Scott Terry had a 5-year run with the Cardinals beginning in 1987. After injuries cut his career short, he stays in the game coaching it. One thing leads to another, and he's part of a group that started the current version of Cardinals Kids Clinics.
In 1998, Dan Farrell called me and brought me into his office, myself, Ricky Horton, and Bob Forsch, and said, how can we involve alumni with the St. Louis Cardinals? And we threw out some ideas, and one of them was kids clinics.
As the trend in youth sports has been more expensive and more selective, he sees kids clinics as a way to reach many kids who may not get a chance to play the game.
With the way things are going with select ball, we need to have all types of avenues for all types of kids so that nobody gets left behind. And I think the Cardinal Kids Clinics are one of the ways that we can do that.
And it's important that all kids feel welcome.
It's a way to get to kids of all ages, of all abilities and talents, and it's a way to get them exposed to current players.
The clinics typically feature Cardinals alumni as instructors and current Cardinals players signing autographs and answering questions. The participation of current players is a key part of the program.
They understand the reality of where they are at the big league level and what it took for them to get there and the opportunity that they have to impress or even influence some of the younger kids because everybody wants to see them and know them. Scott Terry, their grandparents know.
Details about the clinics can be found at cardinals.com/clinics. Building community with Busey Bank Beyond the Game.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, there's no change, unfortunately, out in St. Charles County on Highway 70. This traffic reports a service of Financial and Tax Strategies. We still have eastbound 70 shut down just east of Wentzville Parkway because of a serious crash. They just towed one of the trucks away, but it looks like there's still more work to be done. It's a solid jam on eastbound 70 back at Wright City. Again, the North Service Road or Veterans Memorial Parkway, basically the South Service Road, gets you most of the way into Wentzville without any delays. But if you want to avoid the area more so, you can always just bail out and go south. down Highway T out of Wright City and make your way from there if you know the area better. Westbound 70, of course, that left lane's still blocked at Wentzville Parkway, so it's still a solid jam at Lake St. Louis Boulevard, and so is westbound 64. Southbound 270, Olive down through Manchester's busy. South 170, a little heavy coming through Page. We had an earlier incident that it slowed the Parkway to 64. Eastbound 64 slow, east of Lindbergh to Big Bend. Westbound from the Science Center out to McCausland's kind of busy. Eastbound 44, we have a crash right near 55. It's jammed back through Jefferson. And on the Illinois side, east and westbound 64 delays between 159 and 255. I'm Roger Brand in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Prices seem to go up every time you leave the house. Groceries, gas, insurance, you name it. The good news, your retirement doesn't have to be just as stressful. Tune in to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturdays at 7 a.m. Let us help you retire younger, richer, and with less anxiety.
Now, back to the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
Sponsored by Busey Bank. Building community with Busey Bank. Beyond the game.
5:42 in Mid-America. Time check being brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
All right, back in on Redbird Rush Hour. Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here till the top of the hour. Matt's got you covered on Sports Open Line coming up after that. Interesting couple things on offense to talk about. And we'll get to tomorrow's game and Dobbins and the TBD that's being listed on MLB.com and on the Cardinals website as well for tomorrow, even though Dobbins is on turn. There may be something going on there we don't know about. We'll get to that in a minute. But on the offensive side, number one, good to see Walker hitting home runs again.
Yep.
Really need that. And obviously, you know, the key for him this year has been rebounding from slumps, because you're going to have them. Any big power hitter, he's going to strike out. We know this. And that's okay if he's hitting 30, 35 bombs, which he's on pace to do. But it's nice to see him recovering. And it's just such a this is in no way a dig at Joshua Baez, not even a little bit, because I think what he's doing is good. He's hitting the ball hard with regularity, even when he's making outs. And yes, he's striking out. We knew that too. There are a lot of similarities between Baez and Walker. Similar offensive profiles. Huge power, lots of swing and miss, both still working on it. But the thing that's fascinating to me about the Baez thing is it's kind of a welcome to the major leagues thing, right? Where you have your big explosive day, 3 home runs. Nobody's ever done that before. And then the reality of how hard this game is sets in.
It does. And I always say, you can take a double-A player and put them in the big leagues, and they might have a good game.
Yeah.
You can't take just any double-A player and put them in the big leagues, and they're not going to have a good week, a good month, a good season.
Did I talk about that earlier? This year, I mean, I think he might have said that something similar in the offseason, like, or maybe it was Rob Cerfolio. One of the guys was saying that essentially you could take almost anybody with talent and they could give a day in the big leagues.
Sure.
But boy, the day-to-day is the hard part. And you could see it today. Like, what they were holding back on with Baez is very evident watching right now. He hits the ball hard when he hits it, boy. I mean, like, really hard. But today, he was getting beat at the top of the strike zone by 90 and 91 miles an hour by Brady Singer.
Which was the book on him at Memphis.
Right. So if you're getting beat in the strike zone, it's up, but it's still in the strike zone. If you're getting beat up in the zone by 90, 91, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99 are going to be a problem. So that's just what he's got to work on. He's not finished. Most prospects aren't when they get here. Most of them aren't advanced in the way that J.J. Weatherholt is.
Correct. And Weatherholt was as close to a sure thing, but he's always had the hit profile, the hit tool. Like, that's part of who Weatherholt is. It's not about him being a super power guy. He's going to hit his home runs, and that's going to be part of his game, but it was just very much a different profile for a Weatherholt than a Baez.
Right. They're different players, right? There's a difference between a guy who's big power, high bat speed, and some swing and miss versus a guy that's more approach-oriented. Contact and draw walks and work your counts. I mean, that's what Weatherholt is. They're just different players.
Yeah.
Weatherholt is of the style of Brendan Donovan. I think he's an elevated Brendan Donovan, a better Donovan, better defender, better runner, better power, but a similar approach.
Right.
Where Baez is more like Walker. You're going to have some streakiness to it. You just got to learn it. You got to do it. And I think he'd shown that there wasn't a lot left to learn at Memphis. So he's got to figure it out here. And he's got a good 6 weeks now to kind of keep working on it.
And what did the Cardinals tell us when we were saying that, hey, maybe Jordan Walker needs to go to Memphis? They were telling us, no, Jordan Walker needs to be with the big league hitting coaches. Yeah. So Baez has now probably graduated to a point. I don't care what the numbers were. And I said the exact same thing. This is not me talking out both sides of my mouth. I said the exact same thing 3 years ago when Mason Wynn came up for the final of the month of the season.
Oh, yeah. He was awful.
Yeah, he hit like 1 60 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. I didn't care. Didn't care. Get your feet wet. Now, the Cardinals are playing for more now than what they were the year that Wynn came up.
Yep.
But it's you do this. You get your future core members of your team. If you get the opportunity to get them up to finish out a season, you do it.
Well, and you're also not setting aside a truly productive everyday major league player to get Baez those opportunities.
Correct.
You don't have a better option. Like,
There's been no production in left field.
I like Fermin as a player, but he's not an everyday player.
He shouldn't be.
And he's a good player. He's a valuable player moving forward because he can play 6 positions and look okay at any of them. And because he takes good at bats. He doesn't have any power. He's not super fast. He's not an impact player, but he takes a good at bat. He's a perfect utility player.
Yeah.
But so you're not displacing someone who needs everyday at bats to play Baez. Baez gets that.
He should.
Yeah.
And today he gets taken out on the bases at a really bad time where he would have really liked to have that base runner.
Yeah,
Was the eighth.
that was a bad mistake.
Yeah, it was a bad. But Brian, how different would have the game gone today if Brian Torres would have been thrown out at second when he decided to tag on a fly ball? That was a questionable base running decision as well. So that's part of the young guys learning Major League Baseball and what they need to do.
All right, real quick, let's talk pitching for one more second, and then we're going to move on because we got people on the stream that don't know what they're talking about. Justin, we love you, buddy. I know you're a regular, but he says minor league managers don't use pitch counts and take pitchers out. You are smoking weed. That is the number one thing. Now, they're going to factor in heavy innings versus light innings. Yeah. It's not purely a pitch count. It's not here's 80 and it's 80. If it's 80 in 4 innings, you're done. If it's 80 over 6 innings, you're going smooth. You may get to go back out there. So it's not hard and fast. It moves based on the difficulty of your outing, based on the weather, based on how many heavy innings you have. If you have a 30-pitch innings, you're coming out earlier whether you're getting to your pitch count or not. And that is universal in minor league baseball.
Yeah, when I was doing low A baseball in the Royal system, we had a rule that anybody who got to 35 pitches was not allowed to come back
in an
out.
inning. Yeah.
If you threw 35 pitches in an inning, your day was done.
Yep.
If you could be the top prospect in baseball who they really needed to keep on a schedule, and you go throw 35 pitches in the first inning, your day is done.
Yeah, you may throw a few more in the bullpen when you're done to get to your number, but you're not facing any more stress.
Yeah.
And so, yes, they do. They don't track innings for pitchers in the minor leagues. They track pitches. And ideally, you want to get 6 innings on 90 or 100 pitches. That's the goal. You want to stay on. They want you to stay under 100. I think that's a mistake, personally. I think the way that minor league teams, the way teams develop prospects, keeping them at 80, 90 pitches is a mistake. Because then you're going to ask them to come to the major leagues and do something they've never done before. And then do it at the highest level, at stress level, against the best hitters in the world. I think it's a mistake. I think teams got it better before when they trained pitchers to throw 6, 7 innings and go 3 times through the order. But it's changed because so much is now max effort, high velocity. That's why it is the way it is. I don't think it's working. So there's room for criticizing that. But to say that's not what they're doing, you're wrong. It's absolutely what they do.
Yeah, it's the number one determiner.
All right, one more segment to go. We'll see what's going on with tomorrow's starter if we know anything coming up next here on KMOX.
Tired of your phone bill constantly going up? Stop the madness with Boost Mobile. Get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month. No contracts, no catches. And that $25 price is locked in forever. Switch to Boost Mobile today.
Hi, I'm Mark Cantor. The people around here are hardworking people, just like you. And when someone in your family gets hurt in a car wreck, everything can change very fast. That's why having a local lawyer matters. At Cantor Injury Law, we know these towns, these roads, and the people who drive them every day. When you call us, you're calling a local team with boots on the ground, ready to fight for you. You can count on Cantor.
CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, good news finally out in Wentzville. They managed to quickly clear this crash. I didn't think they would, but it already has been cleared. Everything's back open. All lanes are open now on 70 at Wentzville Parkway, both directions. Eastbound 70, though, is still a standstill jam from just east to Wright City most of the way to Wentzville Parkway because it just opened it a few minutes ago. And westbound 70 is still jammed. Lake St. Louis Boulevard out to Highway 61. Westbound 64 is also jammed at Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Other delays, they had that crash. Looks like they may be clearing it. Eastbound 44 east of Jefferson. Still a backup between Grand and Jefferson on eastbound 44. Westbound 64, Hampton out through Clayton Skinker's a little busy. If you're on eastbound 64, a little slow at the Interbelt busy south of the Parkway. South 270, south of Olive through Ladue, Clayton Road to Manchester, the only slow part there. If you're on southbound 141, I've still got some delays, Helfrich into Valley Park, but south of there, it's not so bad. And, of course, 64 in Illinois, eastbound is slow approaching 159, and westbound delays approaching 157 to 255. Next update at 5:59 from the michaelsflooringoutlet.com Traffic Center.
Sandberg Phoenix serves your business in litigation, intellectual property, and products liability. We're more than a law firm. We're committed to your success. Learn more at sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
After a disaster, emotional recovery takes time. Show Me Hope Missouri is here for you with free, confidential support. Counselors help with stress, coping skills, and connect to resources. If the St. Louis tornado impacted you, visit moshowmehope.org from Missouri Department of Mental Health.
Now, back to the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
Sponsored by Busey Bank. Building community with Busey Bank. Beyond the game.
All right, a few minutes left here. Sports Open Line coming up after the top of the hour. What do you got?
We got Bernie Miklasz is going to be on at 6:20. We'll talk a little MLS soccer with an Apple TV guy. And then our 7 o'clock hour is going to be an extended conversation with the Cardinals amateur acquisition director, Zach Mortimer. We're in part promoting the Draft 365 program the Cardinals just produced. But it's I already recorded it with Zach. We went about a half hour. It's really, really good stuff. So I think people will enjoy it.
Okay, two things. One, Hunter Dobbins is on turn to pitch tomorrow. But the Cardinals are listing to be determined as their starting pitcher tomorrow. So something's up.
Yeah.
Because it's not performance-based because he's pitched well. Quinn Matthews cannot come back yet because he just pitched Monday. I mean, he can, within the rules, but he's not ready to pitch yet. They're not going to run him out there on 3 days rest. So maybe something physical, whether it's an injury or just fatigue, we don't know, but maybe something there to monitor for tomorrow.
Yeah, I texted a few people saying, hey, did Ali officially announce a starter for tomorrow yet? And got to know nothing's been announced. And this is not a beat up on Justin day, but just a tidbit, Justin. When you're looking at starters, don't go to ESPN.
Yeah, go to MLB.
Because they just roll it like everything's going on. They don't monitor what the teams are saying. So MLB.com. If a team has announced a starter, they'll have it there.
Right. All right. This, to me, we'll close on this. I think this is a really great question. Nishiki Drum texted us in. He said, I hear you, but how does someone like Sal Stewart compared to guys like Jordan Walker and Joshua Baez? How does he get almost 30 home runs and a better batting average? And then follow it up with this. I'm just curious. They're very different style hitters.
They are.
So Sal Stewart is not the big bat speed guy. Okay. His bat speed is basically league average. He's better at drawing walks. He chases less. He puts the ball in play more than guys like Walker and Baez. So he's more of a hybrid. He's not a true home run hitter. He hits home runs because he's a good hitter, but mostly because he plays at Great American Ballpark. So Baseball Savant does this great. They have this great tool that shows you where your home runs would land or how many you would have if you played in each ballpark in the major leagues.
Right.
So he's got 27 home runs this year. Based on the distance his home runs have traveled and where he hit them, okay? This isn't theoretical. This is measurable. If he played all of his home games at Busch Stadium, he would track to have 16 home runs instead of 27. So really, the difference is what we're seeing. His power is largely because of Cincinnati.
Ballpark, yeah, very much so.
If you look at his road numbers, they're good, but not like they are at home.
Yeah, that I think that's the biggest thing here. And that's why I hope the voters, when they do the Weatherholt versus Stewart thing, look at that, because you do it on the other side and you put Weatherholt in.
Weatherholt's got 20 home runs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, guys, that's why this is such a cool time. Because we can actually really look that stuff up and you can see how far the ball went, where it was hit. Well, hey, at Great American Ballpark, that's a home run. At Busch Stadium, someone's standing under it, catching it on the warning track.
Yep.
That's just the way it flies. All right, buddy, have a good show tonight.
Thanks.
Matt Pauley has Sports Open Line coming up next on KMOX.
The smartest way to do your homework is Heckman Lumber.
Thinking about building a new deck? Start with the trained professionals at Hackman Lumber, home of one of the largest inventories of decking materials and accessories in Missouri. From treated lumber and cedar to all the leading names in decking, their team will help you choose the perfect materials for your dream deck. Then finish it off with endless railing options, balusters, and LED deck lighting to bring your backyard to life. Hackman Lumber will not be undersold on in-stock decking materials, guaranteed. Do it yourself? Their team is ready to help. Also, check out their expanded paint department with custom color matching. And don't forget, follow Hackman Lumber on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok to catch weekly deals, specials, and project inspiration all season long. Or visit us at hackmanstl.com. Locations in St. Peters, Troy, and Pacific, Missouri.
I felt a jackhammering pain in my jaw.
Like someone sawing my bones. Barbed wire in my shoulder.
Like a cattle prod in my hip.
Like I put my foot in a blender.
Pain is different for everyone. But where pain starts, Jurnavix suzetrigine begins. Jurnavix is a non-opioid 50-milligram prescription tablet for adults with moderate to severe acute pain that reduces pain signals before they reach the brain. Before those signals tell the brain to feel
like I punched an angry beehive.
And pain reduction can finally begin. Do not take Jurnavix with CYP3A inhibitors. Avoid use with grapefruit or liver problems, as these may increase side effects. Tell your doctor about all your medicines if you are pregnant or breastfeeding. Jurnavix may make certain medicines and birth control less effective. Side effects include itching, muscle spasms, rash, and elevated muscle enzymes. To learn more about Jurnavix, ask your doctor. Call 1-833-589-PAIN or visit Jurnavix.com.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
Looking for something new? Lombardo Homes is excited to introduce 2 brand new opportunities in St. Charles County. Discover Crooked Creek at Cottleville Trails, featuring stylish new townhomes from the high 300s and access to incredible amenities that make Cottleville Trails one of the area's most sought-after communities. Or find the space you've been dreaming of at South Point Estates, where expansive 3+ acre home sites and top-rated Wentzville schools create the perfect setting for your custom dream home. Visit LombardoHomes.com to learn more about these exciting new communities.
The 3-2 pitch with the runner going a swing.
Ready to elevate your game? Join the MBA Sportscasters Forum on Tuesday, September 15th in St. Louis. Learn from Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and Hall of Famer John Rooney as they break down play-by-play, reporting, interviewing, and covering the game. Then cap off the day with the Cardinals versus Giants at Busch Stadium. Step into the booth. Sharpen your skills. Go to KMOX.com/events for details and registration. Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, there's still heavy traffic out in the Wentzville area, but again, everything's been reopened on eastbound 70 at Wentzville Parkway. It looks like traffic is bumper to bumper east of Wright City into about David Hokel Parkway. It looks like there could be a stall there, and then there's still a little backup at Wentzville Parkway. Westbound 70 still backed up Lake St. Louis to Highway A, and then there's just a couple slow spots headed out into the Wentzville area, so it gets better after that. Westbound 64, that's still a solid jam. Lake St. Louis Boulevard all the way out to Highway 70. Downtown, they're still working with this crash I've been talking about. Eastbound 44 at Jefferson. The right lanes are still blocked. The exit to Jefferson is closed. Eastbound 44 is jammed back through Grand currently. Eastbound 64 is still heavy, 170 to Big Bend. South 170 delays at Brentwood. And eastbound 64 is still slow at 159. I'm Roger Brand in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
ABC News, I'm Wayne Cabot. Flight cancellations piling up at Northeast airports. Severe weather, a confirmed large, dangerous tornado on the ground in Dover, Delaware. The Trump administration will end summer blend gasoline rules 2 weeks early as it tries to ease the pain at the pumps. Summer blend cuts air pollution but costs more. Oil cost more today, crude rising higher as President Trump vowed economic D-Day against Iran. The Dow down more than 700. She was 10 when terrorists knocked down the Twin Towers. Today, 25 years later, the FBI says Jessica Bowie became part of the Islamic State group, going from a girl who waved the American flag after 9/11 to joining the other side.
Attempting to provide material, support, or resources to a designated foreign terrorist organization.
U.S. Attorney John Sarcone says she plotted to kill New York State lawmakers on behalf of the terror group ISIS. This is ABC News. Jurors in the Lindsay Clancy trial in Massachusetts are likely to begin deliberating next week. The defense planning to rest their case tomorrow after one more witness, forensic psychiatrist Philip Resnick, a professor who has researched postpartum psychosis, which the defense says Lindsay Clancy had when she killed her 3 children. Medical experts are talking about the potential breakthrough in cancer treatment, a personalized cancer vaccine that shows promise. It's built from a patient's own cancerous tumor.
This is kind of a novel idea of using this sort of injection or to generate an immune response, but instead of to an infection, you're generating it to tumor cells.
ABC News chief medical correspondent Dr. Tara Narula reporting the treatment delayed the recurrence of the most serious form of skin cancer. It blocked the spread of melanoma, not just the recurrence, but also the spread in high-risk patients. I'm Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
At 6:02, we've got some clouds downtown at the Arch. Right now, it's 82 degrees. Flock cameras are coming down in one metro area county after an employee was found to be abusing the system.
St. Charles County is covering their over 24 flock cameras ahead of their removal after Chief of Police Kurt Frizz says a new audit feature alerted them to a civilian staff member misusing the technology.
We sent that to our investigators. They dug into it and decided they were not legitimate investigative purposes for law enforcement. They were personal.
Frizz says the audit system is not robust enough to feel comfortable with Flock moving forward. The employee has resigned but still faces a criminal investigation. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
2 people are in custody after a morning shooting in downtown Clayton. Authorities responded to the intersection of South Brentwood Boulevard and Bonham Avenue shortly after 10 a.m. One adult man was taken to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. While the investigation is ongoing, Clayton police confirmed there is no active threat to the community. Circuit Court Judge Daniel Green upholds the arguments of the Missouri Secretary of State and the Attorney General in blocking 2 voter petitions from the November election ballot.
Judge Green ruled with Hoskins in one case that a petition was too broad and restricted lawmakers' rights to change the Constitution. And in another higher profile challenge, Hoskins won the day over who can establish congressional districts. Judge Green says the General Assembly has that specific power. But as expected, these decisions are being appealed and will end up in the state Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has taken over one appeal in a related case, so it's likely to take on both of these cases as well before a legal deadline to change the November ballot. Ashley Bird, Missouri Net.
Several major business groups are once again discussing St. Louis City and County reuniting after the Great Divorce 150 years ago.
Places that are divided, and whether it be rural or urban, it really is a leadership question. It's not about, some kind of legal structure that happened, before any of our great-great-grandparents were born.
That's Ron Kitchens with Greater St. Louis Inc. He says the divides and the overlap are confusing to companies that don't care about geographic divides and just want things streamlined and uncomplicated as they consider locating somewhere else. Golf fans are showing up in huge numbers for the BMW Championship, but the record turnout is pushing general parking to its limit. With the family arena lots nearing capacity today, organizers are asking weekend attendees to carpool or take a rideshare to avoid gridlock. Rideshare drivers can drop fans off just steps from the entrance at 175 Mason Road. Spectators can also go online to purchase limited upgrading parking tickets for the O lot. And speaking of traffic around Belle Reve and the interstates, let's get you to Captain Roger Brand.
Yeah, the interstates, we still have some trouble spots out there, Michael. This traffic reports the service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. It's getting better out in St. Charles County, but there's still a jam eastbound 70, just east of Wright City into Forestville, then a couple of pockets toward Wentzville Parkway from the earlier crash. It's still busy past 64, almost to Highway A. Just again, some slowdowns as the volume unwinds. Westbound 70, just west of Lake St. Louis Boulevard to A is backed up, and then there's just a couple of slowdowns again between Wentzville and David Hokel Parkway. The only solid jam westbound is 64, and it's still backed up the way it's been all afternoon, Lake St. Louis Boulevard out to Highway 70. Eastbound 64, a little heavy, 170 to Big Bend. Still working this crash in the city. Eastbound 44 at Jefferson. The right lanes and the exit to Jefferson are closed. Delays back near Grand on eastbound 44. Lemay Ferry at Lemay Woods, an injury crash. Southbound Telegraph approaching Forder down through Baumgartner's heavy. Eastbound 64 is kind of slow briefly at 159. Westbound 64 slows approaching 157 to 255. I'm Roger Brand in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Oh, it just doesn't get much better than this, all thanks to our northwest flow. Clear skies and delightful for evening plans. Temperatures mainly in the 70s and 67 for the low. Friday, plenty of sunshine. It's a touch warmer tomorrow, 88 degrees, but we can still handle that. Friday night, partly to mostly clear. We could see a spot thunderstorm toward morning, 69 for the low. On Saturday, partly to mostly sunny and just a slight chance of a spot thunderstorm in the morning on Saturday. A very weak cool front coming by. Does not have much to work with at all. 86 will do it for the high on Saturday, 65 Saturday night, Sunday. Perfect, sunny, and 83. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
82 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Come on, let's get going now.
From KMOX Sports.
We're primed and ready. All day, baby. Man, let's go.
This is the Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. On 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is a Gray Bar Sports Open Line right here on KMOX. My name's Matt Pauley with you for the next 2 hours. We've got a lot going on. This is a very busy program. Our only sports open line this week. We just got done with our only Redbird Rush Hour this week, and now we get to our only sports open line of the week. Bernie Miklasz is going to join us for our weekly conversation. He's going to be with us in about 10 minutes or so. Also, coming up later on this hour, we are going to talk with Christian Miles from Apple TV. He is one of the MLS broadcasters. City playing last night. They played to a 1-1 tie against Sporting KC. They get right back at it this weekend, too. So it's one of those 3 games in 8 days type situations for City, which is always tough. And then I really hope everybody tuned in, sticks around for the basically the full 7 o'clock hour. That hour is going to be almost completely filled by a conversation that I recently had with the Cardinals director of amateur acquisition, Zach Mortimer, who is part of the team that oversees the draft. The Cardinals TV production folks just did a really cool feature. It's a 21-minute program, so it's not like a 3-minute feature. It's 21 minutes long. It's awesome. It's called Draft 365, and they followed scouts and they followed everything going on with the Cardinals leading up to the draft. They were at meetings in January. They literally followed scouts on the road. They were at Busch Stadium when they brought prospects in for a workout. They were in the draft room when the actual draft was taking place and the meetings leading up to it. Was awesome. It's awesome. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. It's on YouTube. Just type in Draft 365 and you'll find it. But Zach Mortimer, who is their director of amateur acquisition, he's a big part of it along with Randy Flores. We're going to talk with Zach, and that's going to be almost the entire 7 o'clock hour as we just talk all things Cardinals scouting. And also we'll talk a little bit about some of the guys that they did just recently draft. And a good time for it because Condon just got called up from the Complex League to Palm Beach. That's been a good step forward for him. Cardinals win today. Somehow, some way, they win today. And that was a wild one. That's one of those games that when the season comes to an end, the season will end and I'll kind of reflect upon the year. And I'll be honest with you, I'm always impressed with people who are really good at recalling things that happened that are not like really big things. That's when I talk with Derek Gould. Derek Gould can remember And same thing with Jeff Jones. Maybe it's a trait that exists for beat writers. These guys have the innate ability to remember minute details that happened in a random baseball game. And over 162 games, there's a lot of minute details. There are a lot of minute details over 162 games, plus you get to the playoffs and all that. I can't remember what I had for lunch yesterday. I have a really hard time remembering everything that happens over the course of a year. But I do spend time at the end of the season kind of thinking back and almost cataloging for myself what happened this year, what are the notable things, so on and so forth. And this is one of those games we're all going to remember. There's going to be no doubt that this is a game that, and just even this game in the context of this series, it's a 5-game series, which is pretty odd. 2 games in here where the Cardinals fans would have told you they should have won them. The second game of the doubleheader and then the game last night. I thought the venom, and it was a frustrating night last night when I was hosting the post-game show because I wasn't expecting the reaction. Maybe this is just a bad job by me. I was not expecting the reaction to last night's game that we had when I started that post-game show. Cardinals fans were really angry last night. Were really, really angry, and they wanted to blame it all on Matthew Liberatore. I was literally getting text messages last night that said, when Sal Stewart wins the National League Rookie of the Year, Oliver Marmol needs to be is completely at blame for it because he allowed Liberatore to face off against Stewart in the 6th inning yesterday. Like, that's where I don't know if it was a majority of people or a vocal minority. I think it was a vocal minority, but that's where people were at. It wasn't just let's find reasons to blame Oliver Marmol. It was Sal Stewart just beat J.J. Weatherholt for the Rookie of the Year award, and it's Oliver Marmol's fault. Like that's where the fan base, a vocal portion of the fan base, was at last night. And it's after a game like last night, it's a raw moment, right? Like, that game gets over, and it just doesn't feel good to lose that game. And the fact that a little bit of hope went along with it there in the 9th inning just to draw you in that much more, where it felt like the Cardinals were going to find a way to tie it up last night, and then it doesn't happen. People were very, very unhappy. And my whole thing was, okay, it doesn't matter if you can just keep winning series. Not that losing a game doesn't matter, but in the grand scheme of things, if you can just keep winning series, you're going to be okay. And then the Cardinals, they get out to a 4-0 lead today. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, everything's all right. It stunk that they lost a couple of these games. They lost yesterday's game the way they lost it. They lost the other game when they were 1 out away from winning it. Like, all that stinks, but you can throw away the stinkiness of those moments because you're still going to win a series. And if you just keep winning series, if this team just wins series after series after series after series for the final 5-6 weeks of the season, they're going to be a playoff team. They're going to be fine. So I'm thinking that, and then the Reds have the comeback, and they score the 5 runs in the 6th inning, and Ryan Stanek, who I've been a big, big defender of, was not very good today, and they continue to try to navigate through a bullpen that is just completely worn out right now, and that's why they're letting starting pitchers go deeper. That's why Liberatore was asked to throw 6 yesterday. Maybe you would have thought of going to the bullpen a little bit earlier today, even with McGreevy. There's a lot going on, and then you're just given a wonderful gift in the 9th inning by a Cincinnati team that is absolutely terrible defensively, just terrible defensively, where you don't know what's going on in the outfield. That probably was Friedel's ball, the left fielder. Friedel doesn't, for whatever reason, he doesn't go for it. Dane Myers in center field goes for it. Somebody made this point on social media, so this is not an original thought by me, but it's funny. Neither of those guys had a great view of the baseball. Matthew Rocchio, they each had sunglasses on the tops of their caps. Neither one of them could see the darn baseball. But I literally, as I say this, we've got Channel 2 up on they're running sports right now. I just saw it. Both those outfielders out there, they weren't wearing the sunglasses.
Matthew, the sunglasses for outfield are for looking cool, not actually blocking out any part of the sun.
You know, you're not both. It started in the Atlanta organization. You're not allowed to wear them up there.
Why?
It started with who would have been the general manager? They didn't like the logo being not displayed, being blocked out by sunglasses.
You say general manager, but that sounds like a Ted Turner thing.
I think it was not post. I don't know. Where I first learned about it was when I was in Kansas City. Dayton Moore was in charge of the Royals, and he brought that with him from Atlanta because he had been like the assistant GM in Atlanta and then went to Kansas City, and Kansas City players also were not allowed to wear the sunglasses on top of the hat.
My question with that is, like, it feels like if an outfielder misses a ball in like 2004 and they go to Danny Cox and say, hey, can I please wear sunglasses next time? And he's like, why don't you wear sunglasses today? And he goes, oh, the GM doesn't want me wearing sunglasses because it blocks the logo. I feel like that's something Danny Cox would have been like, no, I want my outfielders catching the ball.
Well, you can always call for the sunglasses.
True.
That used to be a thing. Remember, you'd see it all the time where bat boys would be bringing the sunglasses out to an outfielder?
Just seemed like there were so many other organizations that I could see the GM passing down a rule that would harm your team to win games because of some foolish thing that makes no sense. I'm legitimately surprised that in the decades of a guy like Cox running the Braves, that would have.
It was Bobby Cox who made that rule.
That's insane.
It was Bobby Cox.
Wow, Bobby, my bad.
Yeah, so I knew what you were talking about.
There was a Y and there's a Cox there.
Bobby Cox, because
of
respect for the uniform, that they could not wear sunglasses on the brim of the front of the cap because it blocked out the logo.
So you just had to have them on the back. You just had to have them.
You're either wearing them or you're not.
That's insane to me.
Okay.
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Why would you take away a potential advantage for your players?
Because you got to see the A.
Wild.
For the A. Isn't that their logo? Isn't that their slogan? For the A? Is that a Braves thing? For
that
the A?
Sounds like a really dumb slogan.
I think it's the hashtag for the A.
I think my slogan, if I was the Braves, would be win more World Series when you're in the National League Championship year after year.
Yeah.
That'd be my slogan.
Win the division with the best pitching that we've seen in the last 30 years. Okay. All right. All that being said, we got onto on a tangent there. That's okay. Bernie Miklasz, he joins us next. This is a Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The best time to recommit to your gut health goals? Right now. Take charge of your gut with Nature Made. Our clinically studied ingredients support digestive health. Digestive enzymes break down nutrients. Probiotic and prebiotic fiber nourish good gut bacteria. And super greens with probiotics empower daily digestive health. Try the full lineup of gut health support from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Hey guys, Cam Jansen here. Don't miss a hot tub and swim spa blowout sale this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the St. Charles Convention Center in the South Hall. Choose from over 30 American-made units on display. See hot tubs, swim spas, and cold tubs all ready for immediate delivery. Save up to 50% off MSRP. Financing is available. For more information, call 1-800-SPA-SALE. That's 1-800-SPA-SALE.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Tom's Garage Doors, Tom's Garage Doors. When it comes to garage doors, no one knows more.
Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, CEO of Don's Garage Doors. You change the oil in your car, you service your air conditioner, your garage door deserves the same attention. A simple tune-up catches worn parts before they fail, keeps everything running quietly, and can add years of life to your system. Garage doors usually warn you before they break. We're here to help before that happens. Call Don's today for our $29.95 tune-up special.
When it comes to garage doors, no one knows more.
James Beard award-winning chef Kevin Nashin announces The Clydesdale, a Clark Avenue Tavern at Ballpark Village, opening August 27th. KMOX is excited for this highly anticipated American tavern, rooted in familiar favorites, elevated through refined technique and premium ingredients. Reservations for The Clydesdale are now open. Book your table and experience a fresh take on tavern dining on one of the most iconic streets in Major League Baseball. For details and reservations, visit stlballparkvillage.com.
When was the last time you watched your home movies?
Disasters strike unexpectedly. Every year, American families lose the one thing they'd run back into a burning building for, their family's memories. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box to help save your family's most important recorded moments so you don't have to worry.
Load Legacy Box with your old movies, film reels, and shoeboxes of photos.
We work our digitizing magic, converting those memories right to the cloud so they're safe and accessible forever.
It's fast, we always send your originals back, and it's done right here in the USA.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box. Better Homes and Garden, Real Simple, and Inc. magazine are all talking about Legacy Box.
New York Times columnist David Pogue says, have them digitized. I wish I'd done it sooner. Take action. Save your family's memories today with Legacy Box.
Go to legacybox.com/value to get an incredible 50% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off while supplies last. LegacyBox.com/value.
When it comes to your health, exceptional care matters. At St. Luke's, nationally recognized physicians, advanced technology, and compassionate care come together to provide an exceptional healthcare experience close to home. St. Luke's is nationally recognized for excellence across multiple specialties, including being named number 3 in the nation for cardiovascular care. Because when you need expert care, you shouldn't have to travel far to find it. St. Luke's, exceptional care, nationally recognized, right here at home. Learn more at stluke's-stl.com.
One city, one voice. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Back at it on KMOX. It is a Gray Bar Sports Open Line, our only sports open line this week with the Cardinals playing out east. They did play the day game today. Somehow, some way, they found a way to win. We're happy right now to welcome on the program for our weekly conversation. It is my good friend Bernie Miklasz. He is a contributor here on many KMOX programs. You can check out his videos on social media. He's in the process of getting his online written content back up and going as well. Right now, he's posting a lot of his columns on his X account. Bernie, always appreciate you taking some time. How are you?
Matt, I'm doing great, man. Good to be with you. Have you recovered from whatever the heck that was today?
How about, that was a new game started in the 9th inning today, and just even the sports to me, it's all about stories, and the story of the 9th inning, both the top and bottom, that was some compelling stuff that happened today.
It was just insane. I will say this as a fan, the fact that the Cardinals won made me really, really enjoy the craziness of it all. But I wouldn't be feeling that way if they had lost that game, right? I wouldn't be talking about how funny and entertaining and wild it was. I'd be like ticked off, I think. But that's Cincinnati's problem, right?
Yeah, well, I also think, one of the wonderful things and one of the reasons I love baseball so much is how much the games connect one to the next and one series to the next. And what happened today doesn't just impact tomorrow. It was impacted by yesterday and the day before. And there were 2 tough losses in this 5-game series that you were 1 out away in the first game. And then yesterday with South Stewart hitting the home run to turn over a game. And then you also had, them coming back late, but not being able to finish the comeback. If they lose today, well, then it's a series loss. So not only is it a bad loss, it really taints the series, where kind of the opposite of that ends up happening because they take 3 of 5.
Well, that's exactly right. I don't think it's far-fetched at all to say the Cardinals could have won all 5 games. They were in position to win all 5 games. So, listen, if people want to sort of take the glasses half empty view and say, well, they should have won 5, they should have won 4. Well, I don't disagree with that. But I take the glass half full view because this team continues to demonstrate remarkable resiliency. They continue to overcome a lot of odds. They continue to overcome their own flaws, like a volatile bullpen and an offense that has been pretty good lately. But it's kind of one extreme or another. They have a rotation that's somehow like in the top 9. It has the 9th best starting pitching ERA this year in the majors, which is remarkable. And yet, it's also a fragile rotation, again, as we saw today, because their guys are pretty much 5-inning pitchers. After that, Ali Marmol has got to lean heavily on a bullpen that, frankly, does not have quality depth. So they've got the lowest payroll in the league in terms of what they're paying their 26-man roster. They've got the youngest roster in the league. They offloaded Gray, Donovan, Contreras, Arenado, Nootbaar, May, and Romero. And yet, here they are. They're 3 games over 500. They've exceeded all expectations. They are embarrassing teams 5 teams that were in the playoffs last year. They have a better record than them. They have a better record than a much-hyped Pirates team. They're better than a Cincinnati team that was hyped, and they're better than about 6 or 7 teams that are spending a fortune relative to what the St. Louis payroll is. So I gave that speech for a reason, because if people want to take away from this, anybody can believe what they want. Well, I'm glad the Cardinals won the series, but they should have won all 5. They should have won 4 out of 5, blah, 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 blah. Well, you can do that. I'm just saying you're missing the bigger picture. That's all.
I've been looking forward to our conversation today because I honestly want to get your thoughts on this, because I've been reading your stuff that you've been putting out on social media, and you've gone very heavy today on Cardinals starting pitching, third time through a rotation, or third time through an order, I should say, and how basically that needs to be avoided. And we saw that yesterday with Matthew Liberatore, who, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think anybody's going to say, hey, 3 runs in 6 innings, you'll take that from Liberatore. But then when you put the magnifying glass on it, it was 5 innings of nothing. And then him giving up 3 runs in the 6th inning really hurt you. And that created the conversation of, should he have been there in their first place? After the game, Oliver Marmol talked very openly, Bernie, about the fact that where what the bullpen is at right now, with the doubleheader earlier in the week, with the fact that they're being so careful with Kyle Leahy, they really needed Liberatore to give at least 6. That was a minimum standard. How do you reconcile 2 things that are true? This overwhelming necessity to get a little bit more from starting pitching, a guy like Matthew Liberatore, versus the numbers you've cited today that show just how terrible some of these guys are once they do start facing that order a third time through.
Well, if Ali Marmol had a better bullpen with more depth, more quality, he doesn't build the roster. So it would be ludicrous to blame him for the fact that they're lacking in quality and depth. But there are times, especially when it's very, very, very busy and the schedule's thick and everything else, there are times when, frankly, he has to turn to relievers who aren't on the A list, they're on the B list or the C list of what they have. And that leaves the team extremely vulnerable. And there are some times where he really doesn't have a choice. Now, his critics would of course, blame everything on him. But he's really stuck in the middle because it's almost a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if you stick with your starting pitchers, who I forget my own numbers now, but when they face a lineup the third time through, their ERA is well over 6 as a group.
Yeah.
As it's like 660 or something, right? As a group. So you can either roll the die and take your chances by pushing them, hoping to get a 6th inning out of them because your bullpen's thin. So if you do that and it blows up, well, the manager's an idiot, right?
Yeah.
But not he isn't really,
Right,
but
yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's the response to it.
But on the other hand, how many times have you hosted a post-game show on KMOX where he pulls a guy after 5 innings and then something goes wrong? And if he would have pulled McGreevy today after 5 innings or Libator last night after 5 innings or whatever, and the bullpen coughs it up because the bullpen's not in good shape, well, the manager's an idiot then too. So one way or the other, unless they win, you're going to have half the people calling him an idiot who believe you took the starter out too soon. Oh, you left the starter in too long. Oh, how can you turn this game over to the bullpen at the top of the 6th inning? The bullpen stinks. Either whatever turn he takes, he's going to be wrong. There's a really good chance that it's going to be, quote, wrong. My thing is take a look at the choices he has before you start, talking about a manager in that spot, any manager in that spot being stupid for making a choice that was a thankless choice, to be honest. And, I said this today a lot, and I'm going to say it again. I have tremendous respect for Chaim Bloom. I am grateful that he's running this baseball operation. The one thing I'm disappointed in, it doesn't cost a lot to build a better bullpen, and you don't have to give up great prospects or even good prospects. I think Chaim Bloom owed this team some reinforcement of that bullpen. To me, I don't even know how they can possibly be even within striking distance of a wild card spot.
Yeah, I love the way Ali manages the bullpen. Although I will say, Bernie, I didn't love the move today when he went to Soriano, and I was sitting in a room with Kevin Wheeler, Dave Glover, and Andrew Stoltz. So there are people who can know that I said this at the time. Up 5 in that situation, and they had Ferguson up, and I know he hasn't been very good this year. But if you're not going to use him there, you're never going to use him. And if it goes poorly in that moment, you're still in the exact same situation you were in anyways, because you're bringing O'Brien in, but you're bringing O'Brien in having used one less high leverage guy. And that's a decision that I hope doesn't hurt this team come tomorrow, if there's a situation where they could have used Soriano.
Well, that's right. That's exactly right. See that? I mean, he's kind of stuck with. Well, I use the word. I'm trying to think of a better word. I'm sorry. He's often, presented with thankless choices. And there are times he makes mistakes. But here's a bulletin. Every manager in the history of baseball does that. But your point is right. That would have been a good spot for Ferguson. I totally agree with you. But then again, and I know that if that thing had blown up, well, he would have been wearing the dunce cap, based by what his haters say. So, what are you going to do if he was given a better bullpen by the front office? A lot of his decisions wouldn't be so perilous.
Yeah, but it also, I think you're right in everything that you're saying. I also think that this team could have, and Ryan Stanek was not. I know I've been. St. Louis's leader of defending Ryan Stanek. I also have eyes, Bernie, and he was not very good today.
No.
He was not very good at all. That happens. But if this team did not have Ryan Stanek and they did not have Riley O'Brien, if those guys would have been moved at the deadline, they would not be where they're at still right now. I don't think there was any way to recover from that. Right. So at least those guys were left, even with them moving on from a JoJo Romero.
Listen, you and I never hesitate to push back on each other. But I want to defend you on something, and I'll be quick. When you have praised Ryan Stanek for the way he's pitched for months now, right? Mm-hmm. You weren't correct. I mean, I'm sorry. You weren't wrong. You were totally correct. But what happens is he comes in today and he was bad, and it happens, and he got blown up. That doesn't mean Static sucks. I'd never bring him in a game. No, that's really stupid. No, that's very, very dumb thing to say. So you were correct in pointing out how well he's pitched. But does that mean he's going to do it every time out? The answer is no.
No.
So what are you going to do, man? You're relying on a guy that's pitched really, really well since, whatever the cutoff date was where he was bad. For a long time, he's been really good. Today, he was awful. It's baseball. It doesn't mean that all the good pitching he's given the Cardinals is erased because of today. I don't understand this all or nothing mentality that's out there so much.
Yeah, and again, I would just also take the step back and say, going into yesterday, the Cardinals essentially had the best record in baseball since August 2nd. So the better part of the last 3 weeks, they were tied with a handful of other teams for the best record in baseball. You're going to lose some games that you feel like you should have won. You're going to win some games like today that you feel like you probably should have lost. If you're living and dying on every single game, like that's part of the fan experience. But I also think that there's a line that doesn't need to be crossed where take a step back and just acknowledge, okay, this loss stinks. It happens over 162 games. Go get them tomorrow, get the job done, win the series, and see what happens in Philadelphia.
Well, that's right. They're going in, and I don't think the bullpen is in very good shape, to say the least, because they had to overextend it today again. So I don't know what his plans are. I would hope that they would get a fresh arm up here. Philadelphia is a tough place to pitch in, to say the least. And I'd like to see the Cardinals go there at best and win the series 2-1. But even if they go 1-2, I mean, what are we going to whine about that? I'm not.
No, I'm not.
So it's listen. They've won 5 straight series, and they are 12-6 in their last 18 games. And this was after a really, really bad run that pushed them 3 games under 500. And this was after a trade deadline that sent Nootbaar and Dustin May and Romero, and I know Romero wasn't pitching, but still sent them away. So at a time where they should have, in effect, folded up and just like, well, we gave it a good run. And no, here they come. Here they come, 5 consecutive series wins, 12-6 in their last 18. Has it been pretty? No. A lot of times it's been ugly. But they're finding ways to win, and the incredible resilience this team has is something that should be respected. And the team culture that the manager and the coaches and the players have worked hard to create is one of the reasons why they've won 5 straight series and 12 out of their last 18 games after getting no help at the trade deadline and after flopping around a while leading into the trade deadline.
I am a little curious. The Cardinals have not officially listed a starter for tomorrow. It would be Hunter Dobbins' day. I checked again with some people who were in Cincinnati asking, did Ali officially announce a starter for tomorrow? And nothing has been officially said. It seems odd to me that no announcement has been made. And that small voice inside of me is wondering, what's going on with the pitching? Who's going to start tomorrow? Are there going to be some roster moves? You said, get more people up. I wonder if maybe there's some things going on under the surface that I'm not aware of right now.
No, we're going to have to wait, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And I hope that, I sincerely hope, as we all do, that there isn't something wrong with Dobbins. And I don't mean some catastrophic injury, but maybe something that's giving them pause before sending him out there, where maybe he needs to miss a start or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But what are you going to do? I mean, I don't even know who they would call up.
Your best option is Bryson Motts, who's got like an 8 ERA this month in
Yeah,
Memphis.
he's been very disappointing.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I don't know. So just more challenges for Ali Marmol and Dusty Blake.
Absolutely. Bernie, always appreciate you spending some time with us. Before we let you go, can you share with us a little bit about Saliga?
Yeah, Saliga Heating and Cooling has been taking care of St. Louis families continuously since 1927. I always start with that because I think it's a remarkable family story, this wonderful family business in St. Louis. down there in South City on Gravois. Been there since 1927. Dan Saliga is the fourth owner, operator of the family business. And the reason why I talk about their background is I think it's important to remember their background and what it means for people that need help with their heating and cooling or air conditioning. That's a track record you can count on. That's a track record that has immense credibility. That's a track record that speaks to how trustworthy, honest, reliable, professional, knowledgeable they are. Because this is a competitive industry in St. Louis, and Saliga Heating and Cooling would not be thriving and would not be getting new clients, new families all the time unless they have earned that trust. They have earned that credibility over 100 years. The same family. They have helped us out for the last 19 years. They have been phenomenal, and I am proud to recommend Saliga Heating and Cooling. So if you need some help, you got any questions, you got any worries, concerns, just go to SaligaHeatingCooling.com, SaligaHeatingCooling.com. You'll get the phone number. You'll also see the list of services and the ways they can help you. It's SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. Thank you.
All Access with Ollie Marble on the Gas House Gang.
When things aren't going well, I feel like there is a responsibility to answer to it. Even the kid that apologized for yelling, "Let's go, wake up." His seats were the first seats right behind the dugout. You paid good money for those. You get the yell. So if you have an opinion, if you have questions, I'd rather take the time, especially when things aren't going the way our fan base would like, just answer those.
Ollie Marble, Tuesdays at noon on KMOX.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767.
Today we're constantly taking photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the memories tucked away on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission: to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy Box transforms them into digital treasures, ready to share with a click.
Just like magic, your shoebox of memories is now safely stored in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box, so you can rest assured your priceless moments are in good hands.
Don't let your childhood fade away on old tapes. It's time to digitize those priceless moments.
Fast forward into the digital age. Visit legacybox.com/radio. That's legacybox.com/radio.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples with up to 40% off select tech. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Over 35 years, I've seen it all. Car crashes, work injuries, defective products, medical mistakes, lives flipped upside down in an instant. But I've also seen something else, the power of fighting back, the power of winning. Over $30 billion recovered and counting. Size matters, reputation matters, results matter. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Summer is here. Time to enjoy baseball, barbecues, and the shade of your trees. When it comes to tree care, call the certified arborist at Gamma Tree Experts. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma. Protect your valuable trees from storm damage or devastating insects such as the emerald ash borer. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. For pruning, spraying, fertilization, or removals, call Gamma Tree Experts today at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
Tired of your phone bill constantly going up? Stop the madness with Boost Mobile. Get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month. No contracts, no catches. And that $25 price is locked in forever. Switch to Boost Mobile today.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX. Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line, presented in part by St. Luke's Hospital, St. Louis's #1 heart hospital, on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Keeping going here on a Gray Bar Sports Open Line, our only show this week because we've got Cardinals baseball every other night, but they played earlier today. They got a win against Cincinnati, taking 3 of 5. They'll match up against the Phillies coming up tomorrow. City SC, they are in a very busy portion of their schedule, going through the 3 games in 8 days period. They played last night, played to a 1-1 draw against Sporting KC in Kansas City, and this weekend they're going to be back at home on Saturday as they match up against Houston. We're very happy to welcome on to the program right now. Part of the team at Apple TV covering MLS on the MLS Season Pass. He is Christian Miles. You follow him on Twitter at C Miles Sports. Christian, thanks so much for spending some time with us today. How are you?
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to talking some footy.
What did you think about City's performance last night? It was not the cleanest game in the world.
No, it wasn't, but it does just enough, and it kind of exemplifies this kind of newfound resilience and a sticking to the system that has kind of been prevalent throughout the entire campaign. And after some discussions with head coach Yohan DeMay this afternoon, saying, look, the results weren't there, but the system was in place, and we're seeing the same system now starting to yield these positive results. And Matt, what's really remarkable about this is the fact that we're having players like Marcel Hartley, we're seeing players like Cordova Lee, we're seeing players like Teutschert League. These are big, big names, and they're still getting results. 7 wins in 10 on a 10-game unbeaten run. It's unbelievable what he's done. And DeMay himself told me we're ahead of schedule.
Is it just a credit to the system that they are running right now, where the system is able to be bigger than any single player?
Well, yeah, it's all about the team ethos. When you're trying to get 11 people to do, work in unison and subscribe to one belief and work together, that's always a difficult task. And then to do it to the level that they're doing it is a testament to the coaching acumen and the system that Yohan DeMay has put in place. And, there were a lot of questions early on in his coaching tenure. Is he getting the right personnel for his system. And we saw him control games, but not getting the results, not getting the goals. But now, even without these big name players, those results are coming here. This team, their work rate is just off the charts. They run their socks off for each other.
Is there any reason to be concerned that you're in this period of, the 3 games in 8 days, and at times it felt like they were a step slow yesterday? They did not look crisp. For that to be the way they played last night, and then to have another matchup coming up just a few days later, what does a team do to try to navigate through that and maybe find a little bit more energy than what they had last night?
Well, you take it with a grain of salt there, because that West Coast road trip really saps your energy, and when you're dealing with 3 games in 8 days and throwing travel in and playing that much, it's just a lot for any team at any level to handle, and given the vast amount of travel they've had. So they were fatigued. They will be, admitting it. They're still disappointed with the result because they thought they should have gotten something out of it, considering the quality of the opposition in Sporting. No disrespect to them, but not exactly having a fantastic season. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it long term. It was a hiccup. And when you play in these games in the dog days of summer, in the heat, on the travel, and working as hard in a way of playing that requires so much energy expenditure that these players are, they're bleeding out there. They're emptying their tanks. And so that's what is required in this system. So it's kind of likely that they were going to be a little spent. They were going to be a step slow and a little bit leggy.
For whatever reason, they have a hard time in Kansas City, and this rivalry means so much, I think, to both sides. But that is a place where they just, I say historically, it's funny to say that it's still as new as this team is, but historically they don't especially play well there.
It's a tough place to play. They call it the Blue Hell and it's a very good reason. It's a tough place to play, and it's a team in Sporting Kansas City I've seen quite a bit this year where I think they're better than their record indicates. So, while they're not blowing the doors off the Western Conference, they are still a tough nut to crack in their own regard, and they can give someone a game, especially if they can get an early goal. So it wasn't the case last night, but certainly St. Louis will feel that they underperformed in terms of results. And I would expect, they call it the bounce back game in soccer. And you couldn't pick a better opportunity and a better opponent to do that against, because this Houston Dynamo team is absolutely steamrolling through Major League Soccer.
Yeah, that was kind of going to be my next question. This is an important matchup, but also in many ways with this roll that City's on, this winless streak that they're on, this seems like a litmus test matchup for them as well.
It really is, and it's 2 teams that approach the game so differently. We're seeing a St. Louis City side that like to possess. They want to be on the ball. They want to control the game and get it out wide. And this is an up and at 'em Houston side that is very good on the counterattack. They're comfortable without the ball. They're very athletic. Guilherme, the new signing, is making a case for MLS Newcomer of the Year. And you throw in the likes of Bogusz, who's had a pretty good season opening up things on the right, and the play through the middle of the park with Jack McGlynn in support. So this is a team. It's very good going forward, but it's at the back where St. Louis is going to have their work cut out from. They're coming off 4 consecutive clean sheets, 4 consecutive shutouts, Houston, and it's against very impressive opposition. Blanking Vancouver up in British Columbia on their turf is a testament to the quality, and they're also in the midst of that really busy fixture list, that busy schedule of 3 games in 8 days. So they're going to be a very difficult opposition, different type of opposition, but one they have seen already. You may remember St. Louis getting the better of them in the U.S. Open Cup quarterfinals back in May.
I always tell folks the product that Apple puts out and covering MLS is absolutely incredible, and it's not just the game broadcast; it's the other content that's put out. The studio shows are really, really good. This year, as we remind folks, if you've got the Apple TV subscription, you don't need that double paywall. So if you're there for Ted Lasso, you can stick around for everything going on in MLS. But give a plug just for the broadcast and the everything that you guys have going on content-wise when it comes to MLS on Apple TV.
Oh, thank you very much, Matt. It's an absolute pleasure. It's a privilege. And it's, you know what? It's just a heck of a lot of fun. We are very fortunate to do what we do, and we enjoy it.
Awesome. Very, very good. Hey, Christian, really appreciate you spending some time with us. Have a wonderful call, and I'm sure we'll talk again down the line.
All right, Matt. Thanks for having me. Enjoy the match.
All right, very good. That is Christian Miles joining us. He's part of the team over at Apple TV with the MLS package. Again, if you want to watch City SC, that's what I was about to say. That's the best way to do it. Essentially, that's the only way to do it. There's a national TV game every once in a while, but of course, you can also listen on our sister station, Y98, your home for City SC Soccer, and they've always got that. They also have the overlay option on Apple TV as well. If you ever want to get the local City SC broadcast, you can get that on top of Apple TV. I know a lot of people have found that with the Major League Baseball package with MLB TV, where you can take the radio broadcast and overlay it on the radio audio on top of the TV. You can do the same thing when it comes to City SC. So lots of different things. I'm glad more and more services are doing that. That's something, and Apple TV has been really good about that. If you ever watch the Friday night baseball games on Apple TV, they have that option available. A lot of people don't realize that you're watching the Friday night game. You can bring up the KMOX broadcast of the Cardinals game when they're on Apple TV on Friday nights, and it just overlays it right on top of the Apple TV thing. So that's part of MLB TV, but it's also part of Apple TV, which I know a lot of people do appreciate. We are going to take ourselves a break, and when we come back, as we get into the 7 o'clock hour, we're going to have an extended conversation with Zach Mortimer. He is the amateur acquisition director with the Cardinals. We've got a lot to get to with him. That's coming up here on KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Chinese AI startup DeepSeek is raising $8 billion in its second funding round, which would value the firm at around $74 billion. DeepSeek recently launched a new version of its flagship AI model that is much cheaper than rival models for benchmark tests, with artificial analysis reporting that DeepSeek's V4 Flash is 100 times cheaper than Anthropic's Claude Fable 5. I'm Jason Brooks.
Back to school season is here, and Dollar General has everything you need to start the school year strong. Don't forget to grab a pair of bright yellow sunglasses from the Yellow Glasses Project for just $2. Every purchase makes a difference, with 100% of proceeds helping support teachers, classrooms, and nonprofit organizations working to improve reading and literacy skills across the country. Stop by Dollar General today and shine bright with the Yellow Glasses Project, available now at Dollar General. The Yellow Glasses Project is a program of the Dollar General Literacy Foundation.
I'm with Mark Cantor of Cantor Injury Law. And Mark, why is it so important for you to be a local law firm?
Well, being local means more than just advertising here, more than just a billboard on the highway. It means showing up here. It means supporting local events and local charities.
But why is local so important?
It's important because we know the law, we know the judges, we know the roads, and we understand the community.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
You can count on Cantor. Visit CantorInjuryLaw.com.
Looking for something new? Lombardo Homes is excited to introduce 2 brand new opportunities in St. Charles County. Discover Crooked Creek at Cottleville Trails, featuring stylish new townhomes from the high 300s and access to incredible amenities that make Cottleville Trails one of the area's most sought-after communities. Or find the space you've been dreaming of at South Point Estates, where expansive 3+ acre home sites and top-rated Wentzville schools create the perfect setting for your custom dream home. Visit LombardoHomes.com to learn more about these exciting new communities.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
And Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize! Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct. To the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
This is the story of the one. The one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line, presented in part by St. Luke's Hospital, St. Louis's #1 heart hospital. News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
John Sarcone.
As alleged, this defendant was radicalized online and spread messages of hate and violence against the American people.
Rising national debt weighing heavily on the stock market, which suffered its worst loss in 3 weeks. The Dow closing down more than 703 points. The U.S. government's debt topped $40 trillion Wednesday. In Massachusetts, after less than an hour of testimony, the jury in the murder trial of Lindsay Clancy sent home early this morning. Her attorneys claim she killed her 3 children due to postpartum psychosis. In Ukraine, a Russian missile barrage killing at least 14 people in Kyiv. Emergency crews pulling people from the rubble as fires burn through residential buildings. This is ABC News. After living in the U.S. for 6 years, Prince Harry and his wife Meghan are planning to move back to the U.K. within weeks. ABC News Royals contributor Victoria Murphy on what we know so far.
There's a reminder being put out that they're not working royals and that nothing has changed in their status. There's not going to be any half-in, half-out option as far as representing the monarchy goes. And I think that's a bit telling as to where the frictions might lie in the future with the royal family. As far as William goes, there's been no comment, and we know that that relationship remains very much estranged.
The U.S. Postal Service launching a review after a mailman was caught on camera attacking a well-known neighborhood peacock in Pasadena, California. Video appears to show the mail carrier on Tuesday throwing a rock at the bird known as Sugar and then hitting it with a stick or a club. Neighbors tell our ABC station KABC that they're outraged but admit that Sugar does have a reputation. The local Humane Society is evaluating Sugar for injuries. Dave Packer, ABC News.
At 7:02, we've got a sunny sky. Right now, it is 81 degrees downtown at the Arch. After a civilian employee was caught abusing the Flock camera system for personal reasons, one local county has cut ties with the controversial company.
A new audit feature rolled out by Flock alerted St. Charles County Police to one of their employees improperly using the system for personal reasons. Still, Chief of Police Kurt Frizz says the audit system is not robust enough and it's too easy for Flock to be abused to keep going with their service.
Is it as simple as just searching in the plate and hitting enter?
Yes. And so that's going to give you a date and time and location where that person was or the vehicle passed through.
Frizz says the employee who misused the system has resigned, but they remain under criminal investigation. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Police at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign arrested a student after he was caught vandalizing campus license plate reader cameras. Here's Carolina Garibay.
26-year-old PhD student Mitchell Bryant was arrested last week by the University of Illinois Police Department and charged with 1 count of criminal damage to government-supported property. Police say he was caught on building and bus surveillance video covering 2 license plate reader cameras and yellow spray paint on July 31st and August 10th. The vandalized cameras were located in the areas of Green and Gregory Streets and at the intersection of Wright Street and Springfield Avenue. Mitchell is due back in court for a preliminary hearing on September 24th.
Now, the latest on plans to fill in an old quarry in Lemay. Neighbors showed up to Clayton this week to get to county council members before the project gets to them. The material has to be what's called clean fill. Melanie Mudd lives a block from the quarry.
We've all seen dump trucks. They're full, and you've all seen them be dumped. And we don't know what's under that. So how do we know it's clean fill? Do we really know? Does the person that took the work order know? I don't think so.
The council cannot act on this yet. Councilman Mike Archer.
My office has received a lot of calls about this, so it is still at planning and zoning, and I'm awaiting that report.
The County Planning Commission has pushed its decision to September. Record-breaking crowds leads to some long wait times at the big PGA event in town.
In a statement thanking fans for their unprecedented turnout to Belle Reve Country Club, the BMW Championship announced that complimentary spectator parking lots at Family Arena were nearing capacity on Thursday, calling it a testament to St. Louis and its passionate golf fans. With even more fans expected over the weekend and to avoid longer wait times, the tournament is encouraging fans to carpool whenever possible or consider using rideshare. Rideshare drops off at 175 South Mason Road at Whitfield School, steps from the main entrance. Those options, the tournament says, can help reduce congestion and make getting to and from the championship easier and more enjoyable for everyone. Also mentioned, a limited amount of upgraded parking in the O lot is available for purchase at bmwchampionship.com. At Belle Reve Country Club, Tom Ackerman, KMOX News.
70 years of St. Louis history is finally safe.
Gaslight Square at Boyle and Olive. Crowds are so thick on weekends it's almost impossible to find a parking place in the immediate area. Things of interest are the sidewalk artists making sketches to order and exhibits of oil paintings. St. Louisans are flocking to this new mecca of nightlife in ever-increasing numbers.
9 PBS won a court battle to retrieve a 50-terabyte archive of photos and footage dating back to the 1950s, all about St. Louis. The files were trapped in an Iron Mountain data center after the station's cloud storage provider went out of business. Because of privacy rules, Iron Mountain refused access without a court order, but a judge has now ruled that the data center has to work with 9 PBS and hand over the files. Forecast overnight, clear sky, low 67 degrees for Friday, sunshine, a little warmer, high 88. For tomorrow night, we could have a spot storm after midnight toward the Saturday morning hours. 69 Friday night, 86 for Saturday, 83 for Sunday. Right now, downtown at the Arch, we'd still have some sunshine. It's 81. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line, presented in part by St. Luke's Hospital, St. Louis's #1 heart hospital on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
All right, starting to get rolling with the 7 o'clock hour. I'm only going to be with you here in this segment for a few minutes. We are going to break early, and we're breaking early for a really good reason. I've got an extended conversation, and I'm really looking forward to folks hearing this. We're going to be talking coming up in just a moment or so with the amateur acquisition director for the Cardinals. His name is Zach Mortimer. Now, part of the reason is we're helping the Cardinals promote something. They just released Draft 365 or Draft 365. It's a really well done video feature, a show. It's 21 minutes long. It's worth your 21 minutes and more. I wanted more of it. I wish it was longer, to be perfectly honest with you. I loved watching it. It is a completely behind the scenes, full access to everything that the Cardinals do leading up to the draft. You're in meetings. You're with scouts on the road. You're at workouts at Busch Stadium. You're in the draft room as the draft is happening. You're at poker night when the scouts all get together to have a fun night towards one of the times when they were having meetings together. It's awesome. And Zach Mortimer is going to be with us to talk about it a little bit, but that also gave us the opportunity to talk about how the Cardinals go about scouting and the life of a scout and everything that goes along with it. And also, we'll get into a little bit with some of the players who were recently drafted as well. Matthew Rocchio, you've got a look on your face right now.
Did you ask him how he pulled off the unbelievable shift of pro baseball writer to pro baseball scout, which is kind of how he got started?
I didn't. That'll be a future conversation.
That's wild to me. Every time that happens, it's wild.
He's been doing this for 13 years in the Cardinals organization. Super interesting guy. I loved our conversation. I didn't realize I'd gone 30 minutes with him. Like, I should probably start to wrap this thing up. So we're gonna get Zach on again. He told me, he gave me the when we're done recording. He's like, hey, anytime you want me on, anytime you want something for me, just let me know. Okay. I'm going to take you up on that.
Someone's new.
I'm going to take you up on that. So I really enjoyed the conversation with Zach Mortimer for sure. Also, you heard Tom Ackerman during our top of the hour news mention it as well. I wish we had more sports open lines this week because I could have devoted more time talking about the BMW Championship going on over at Belle Reve, which is awesome. The golfers that are in the St. Louis area are amazing. The top of the leaderboard right now is awesome. There's a 5-way tie at 6 under. That includes guys like Rory McIlroy, who's there tied for first. But with that, there are a lot of people that are going. St. Louis is showing out in a really, really big way. They are asking if there's a way to carpool whenever possible or use rideshare. Rideshares are dropping you off on Mason Road, just steps from the main entrance. Consider doing that because St. Louis, again, we show up for sports. We really show up for big-time events, and this is a big-time event, to say the least. So just wanted to give you an update on that. And we'll come Monday when this thing wraps up, we'll spend more time on it because it's a point of pride, I think, for St. Louis to be hosting this event and hosting this event in the way that they are. All right, we'll talk with Zach Mortimer coming up in just a moment. I do want to tell you right now about my friends at i3 Broadband. They are my internet service provider at my home, and I could not think of a company that I would want giving me internet than them. That I say providing, because that's part of the reason I like them. I never feel like, and I was an i3 customer way before I was talking about them on the radio. And when I pay my bill every month, just like anybody else, I never feel like I'm getting gouged. I go to the cable company, I go to other telecommunications companies. It's like, what am I paying for? How in the world can this be this much money? I don't feel that way about i3. It's a really good price. Different prices depending on the speed that you get, but you always get gig speed internet. They've got 1 gig, 2 gig, 8 gigs. The speed is always mirrored upload and download. That's a really big thing as well. That's going to guarantee that you have truly speedy internet. So see if they're available in your neighborhood. They are continuing to add more and more neighborhoods through the St. Louis area. Go to i3broadband.com/radio, i3broadband.com/radio. It's time to make the change. i3 Broadband, it's the best internet you're going to find. i3broadband.com/radio. Make sure to check it out.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hear that? That's Alka-Seltzer, the sound of fast heartburn relief. Because when heartburn hits, you want something that works fast. Quick! Alka-Seltzer. Alka-Seltzer effervescent tablets start neutralizing stomach acid in seconds. So nothing works faster for heartburn relief. Next time when that burning feeling comes on strong, don't wait. Quick! Alka-Seltzer. Try Alka-Seltzer. Use as directed.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-738-9900. That's 800-738-9900. 800-738-9900.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Charlie Brennan here with a happy 35th anniversary to John and Cindy Morelli, who started Morelli Tuck Pointing in 1991. They were later joined by their daughter Deanna and her husband Julian. As of today, the Morellis have won every award possible for the tuck pointing industry. The BBB Torch Award, the Next Door Neighbor Fave Award, and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. When you're out in the yard or on your patio, take a look over your brick, stone, and mortar joints on your walls, chimney, walkways, and retaining walls. If they need repair, Morelli would love to help. It's a good idea to do that home maintenance before leaks are created or rebuilding is necessary. We've used Morelli Tuck Pointing to work on 2 homes and have found Morelli's bids to be fair, their work is excellent, and they clean up after themselves. 314-645-1387 and MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Income is the outcome that matters the most in retirement. Join us for Kickin' with the Rickens, Redefining Retirement with Jerry Ricken and Heidi Ricken Provost every Saturday at 3 p.m. right here on KMOX, and get more at RickenFinancial.com.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
from day to day.
When we're talking about scouting, because Randy Flores at one point says in this, it's not just a radar gun. And there was some of the inside looks on the meeting was conversation about guys' makeup. You guys had a workout and it was talking about who's going to go out and pick up the help shag balls like that. It goes much more than just the physical attributes. How tough is it for a scout to be able to recognize those things and be able to get to know all these players and know them beyond just what's going to show up even on film and certainly show up on a box score?
Yeah, I think that's back to the first point of, we just have to change and keep evolving with the job. And before, the radar gun was extremely valuable because there was no other way to capture that information. Now we have different technology and different tools that can, provide that for us, that even if we're not there, we can figure out how hard a guy was throwing. But there are certain things that you just have to commit to and understand that moving forward, these are things that will make us valuable as a scouting staff. The makeup is something we're really, they talk about the Cardinal way, and it's an actual thing. We try to draft players that we feel will be great fits for the organization, and that starts with the players' makeup and what their willingness to compete and their willingness to put the most work and their best foot forward to become the best player they possibly can be.
I know you guys are working 12 months a year, but it seems like it goes hot and heavy starting in January. It showed the January meetings that you guys had, and then obviously it goes through the draft in July. That period of time every single year, is there any chance to come up for air, or is it just go, go, go every single day really from January through July?
Yeah, it's go, go, go. But something that the guys will always mess with me about is I always tell the guys to reflect every day. And I feel like if you go, go, go too much from January to June, you'll lose, context of where we're at and what the whole importance and the goal is. So yes, I agree. We have to go, go, go. And we may not know which cities we're staying in each night, but we have to understand that the job at the end of the day is to get the draft right. The job is not to work the hardest in the month of March. The job is when the draft week happens, get the players in the right order and understand that for the best of the team is to get the draft right, not to get the work right per se.
Talking with Zach Mortimer. He is the director of amateur acquisition for the Cardinals. When the thing that struck me, a lot of things struck me, but one of the things that struck me was in these meetings, all these scouts need to be on it on all these different guys. And if a question is asked about a player, there's an expectation that there's going to be an answer that goes along with it. The depth of information that all of these scouts have on so many players, it's pretty remarkable. And just the work that goes into that part of it, you can't fake this job. I think that was the part that came at you. There's no way to fake this because you are going to be in that room with all these other folks and you're going to have to be able to answer about players essentially.
Yeah, I think it's a credit to our staff. Our staff, the preparation, the work that they do to put themselves in the right position to have that information, whether that be phone calls that people don't understand the value of at the time of the call. But hey, something might come on the backside of that. Like, I'm so glad I had that call because now I have a connection with this coach. So if I ever need information from him again, he'll be a reliable source. So I think it's just a credit to our staff. They put the work in, they have the right connections, they spend the time, they put us in a really good spot to be successful.
A lot of people comment on, and just taking that one step forward, Scott Cousins, who's a regional cross-checker, talks on this, and he at one point said, it takes 5 to 10 years to really get to know your area because you are talking with high school coaches, you're talking with AAU coaches, you're talking with college coaches, you might be talking with some hitting guru that happens to be located in a certain area, like whatever it might be. This is not something where somebody jumps into this job and they can just do it. The relationships that have to be built is a huge part of this.
Yeah, I think we joke about it at times, who knows the most amount of people in the game. And it's like, everybody knows hopefully all of the people from one staff. Everybody have their section of people that they're tight with and people that they can get real information. But starting as an area scout, you start with kind of a blank slate usually. Anybody who has started contacts that they trust as they're entering the profession, that's only a plus. But it's something that if you put the work in and it's kind of just the way of baseball. If you give people the respect that you're going to respect the job, people will respect you and that you're trying to help your organization do the best they can.
Chaim Bloom, when addressing you guys, and it's actually interesting because the entire thing starts with his introductory press conference, which alludes to where the Cardinals are going to go and how important it is that this is a team that drafts well, develops well, all of that. And at one point, Heim says something along the lines of, it's not about meeting the standard, but it's about setting the standard. Is that something that drives everybody kind of on an everyday basis?
Yeah, I think I closed the thing with, I said it's so hard to get a perfect draft, so the work's never finished. And I think that's just something that Heim set from the beginning, is that we just have to look to set the standard every year, because the standard just doesn't stay the same. We must set a higher bar every single year pushing forward, because the industry's going to. Nobody's in this to get worse. Everybody's in there. It's a competitive game. You keep score at the end of the day. You understand where you line up, whether that be in the big leagues, prospect rankings, wherever. But there's certain ways to keep score, and everybody knows if we're doing as good of a job as we can do. Now, that doesn't mean we shouldn't reflect and say, hey, we're doing pretty good at this, but we can also push forward because the work isn't done. And I think that's just a culture that Heim and Flo really too. I have to give them both really a ton of credit for creating this culture in the amateur scouting staff to know that, hey, we can respect that we've done a good job, but we also know that we must push forward in order to stay where we're at in the industry.
You mentioned your final comments at the end, and you talk about the job is never ending and the perfect draft is not something you can get. And you also mentioned the fact that the really good scouts talk about the things they missed, the reports that they got wrong. And there is some humility that goes along with that, and some confidence in your job, that you'll talk with scouts sometimes and they'll say they didn't get something right. And you referred to that as being really kind of a good thing. That's a good trait that scouts have.
Yeah, I think if you look at some of the teams that may not be successful as others in this, they'll talk about all the picks that they got right. And if you talk to the teams that have proven track records, they'll be talking about the ones they got wrong. It's hard to have that confidence. It's something that isn't natural. You have to grow into it. But understanding that you can learn lessons from your mistakes will set you up to strive for that better, higher bar. And know that no one's perfect. We can all keep score on the draft and the percentages of return on expected pick. Everybody knows it's a really hard thing to do. It's a really hard thing to get right, but it's not something we should hide from. We should respect the draft and understand it's challenging. And as we continue to keep pushing forward, it's something we should keep challenging ourselves and learning from.
This wasn't in the piece, but I want to ask you about this because you guys all come to town a few days before the draft. There's meetings before that. When the JJ Weatherholt extension took place, there were a lot of folks in town because of getting ready for the draft. How nice was it that such a win for the organization that moment was able to be shared by so many people in the organization who were in town?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, most of our staff was in there. We were fortunate enough to have it opened up to all of us. We were all in there as it went down. And it's just a credit to JJ and the work he put in and the player he is, but also the person he is. And I think that goes back to our staff and JJ. When we took him, we knew which type of person we were getting. We knew what his skill set was, but we also knew the worker that he was. And he hasn't backed off, and he's done what he's done in the big leagues, and it's really fun to watch him. And it's so rewarding to see something pay off like that for him and the organization.
What are your emotions like on actual draft night? Randy at one point says you can't cram on the day of the draft. You got to do all the work going in. So I know there's confidence in the work that took place, but at the same time, there has to be butterflies as that event gets going.
Yeah, Flo will admit that he's the eager one of the bunch. He's always ready to go. So I give him a lot of credit for keeping us on our toes and ready to go. I try to keep everybody calm. I think that's always kind of been my role, is just to try to, hey, we've done the work. We know where we're at. We know why we're successful and why we're going to be successful. And we know everything. Nothing on the fly is going to hit us that we're unprepared for, because we've done this work and we know where we're at. So I try to keep everything nice and calm for the group, and hopefully it helps us be a little bit more successful for that. But I think the balance of, the eagerness and the want to get the best player mixed with a little bit of calmness is great for an organization and a draft team.
There's going to be moments in the draft, whether it's the first round or it's the last round, you're going to be one or two picks away, and a team or two in front of you is going to pick somebody that you guys are ready to go with. I know the stomach has to drop a little bit at that moment, but at the same time, you have to lock back in and get ready to make that next selection and find that next player who can be a great Cardinal moving forward. What is that emotion like when you do have maybe a disappointment, a pick or two before it's time for you to make a selection?
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting too, because it changes so much year to year. Some years you'll get your pocket picked, is what you're referring to. 4 or 5 times and you're like, man, again? And you have to get back to the list and focus on what you need to focus on and make sure the next person's lined up, make sure everything, everything's taken care of. And then other years or years in a row, knock on wood, you'll go and, hey, we're good to go. We've got the board set. We'll be in the right spot. We'll have everything set up the way we can be. But when it goes wrong, I think you're really thankful that we did the work. That's what we feel as an organization and a group, because those are the times that the work really pays off. Because if you're just reacting in that moment without preparation and work done, it's a really hard thing to catch up to in a 6-minute span.
The MLB draft is the most unique draft, just in the sense that guys can choose to not sign. They can go to college, they can stay in college, whatever it might be. And maybe you take a guy early on that you're going to plan to sign under slot, so you have a little bit of money left over. But these conversations, you might realize all of a sudden we've got a chance to take this guy, and then there's phone calls going on to agents. Hey, how much money is it going to take to actually get it? The signability issues that go along with it, knowing kind of internally what your budget is going to be for that spot. And these type of decisions are happening in just a handful of minutes between picks.
Yeah, it's a challenge. It's something that's unlike any other sport. It's something you just have to understand what the rules are, and you have to work inside those lines. And I think it just goes back to the preparation, knowing what your dollars and cents can be and what theirs might be. And you can make your best prediction, but until it's go time, you don't actually know that. And the preparation is what hopefully allows us to continue to put ourselves in the best spot, whether it's the first round or the 20th round. And you let the chips fall where they may, and everybody kind of fits into their puzzle piece at that point.
Zach Mortimer, the Cardinals Director of Amateur Acquisition, continuing to join us here on a Graybar Sports Open Line. Again, the name of the show is Draft 365, Scouting MLB's Future Stars. If you go to YouTube and just type in draft and the numbers 365, or if you go to the Cardinals YouTube page, you can find it for yourself. It's really good. It is worth 21 minutes of your time. I actually watched it a couple times. I really enjoyed it, and I think you will as well. We'll continue our conversation with Zach Mortimer coming up in just a moment. It is a Graybar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
The Cardinals conversation doesn't end when the game does. Watch the Gas House Game, Redbird Rush Hour, Sports Open Line, and sports on a Sunday morning whenever and wherever you want. Plus, exclusive conversations with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol, president of baseball operations Chaim Bloom, players, broadcasters, and baseball insiders. Subscribe today to the KMOX Sports YouTube channel, because Cardinals fans deserve a front row seat.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run, because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are talking to Dr. Premal Thacker.
So we're trying to actually educate our general surgeons if you're getting a hernia repair or a gallbladder out and a woman is done with childbearing, even if they don't have an elevated risk for the development of ovarian cancer, to really get those fallopian tubes out. So we're on a mission to try to prevent ovarian cancer.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
Are moles tearing up your yard? Don't let these lawn invaders turn your beautiful property into a mess. Rottler Pest Solutions offers professional mole control services to protect your lawn from damage. Visit Rottler.com today to schedule your free inspection.
St. Louis, are you ready to rock? AC/DC is
is bringing the Power Up Tour to the Dome at America's Center Tuesday, September 8th. Hear legendary hits like Back in Black, Thunderstruck, and Highway to Hell, performed live by one of the greatest rock bands of all time. Don't wait on tickets. They're still available at Ticketmaster.com. AC/DC, the Power Up Tour, Tuesday, September 8th. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circa Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. For everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circa Sports app, then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circa Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Right now, inflation is squeezing your budget. Global events are shaking markets overnight, and if you're close to retirement, you don't get unlimited do-overs. This isn't the time to just hope it works out. That's why Steve All and the All Financial Group are hosting a complimentary educational seminar on August 27th and September 1st at Twisted Tree. Find out if your retirement strategy can survive today's economy, rising costs, market volatility, political uncertainty, and the questions most people avoid, like could you outlive your money? When should you file for Social Security? Is your 401k carrying too much risk? This event is complimentary and you must qualify to attend. Call 636-230-8824 or visit yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions. All Financial Group is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX. Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line, presented in part by St. Luke's Hospital, St. Louis's #1 heart hospital, on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Welcome back in. This is a Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX. We're going to continue our conversation with Zach Mortimer. He is the amateur acquisition director for the Cardinals. We're talking to him in part to promote the Draft 365 show that was just recently released by the Cardinals and Cardinals Productions to their YouTube. It is incredible. It is a behind-the-scenes inside look at everything that goes into the draft, and it starts in January with initial meetings. It goes through a workout that they hold at Busch Stadium, the scouts that are on the road, really the scouts for the organization are the star of this, and it's really good. I would strongly encourage you to go watch this for yourself. So as we do continue our conversation with Zach, where we were up to before we took a pause was the actual night of the draft, and everybody is together, and you go through the first 12 picks, and then the Cardinals have their pick, and they make the decision with pick number 13. The Cardinals go ahead and select Trevor Condon, who is a high school outfielder. There's still so much work to do that night. The Cardinals had so many top 100 level picks. You can't just be stop and celebrate. I know everybody's still got a lot of work to do, but can you describe what the feeling is like in that moment as another individual who's expected to be a big part of the organization officially does join the organization, being drafted number 13?
Yeah, it's a really fun time. It's a fun thing to be a part of. It's why we do the job. But I think as we keep going forward and we all keep working together, I think it's such a collaborative process that it's not just one person. But like when I started, at times one person would get credit as an area scout for, hey, they signed so-and-so. Now it's such a collaboration. Every scout's involved. Every scout hopefully knows the player. Every scout has had a conversation with another scout on our staff about the player. And it's something we try to make sure everybody's involved with. So we try to just bring it together. They're team picks. Now, there might be a signing scout specifically, but they're all going to play for the Cardinals organization. And that's something that I think I give a ton of credit to our staff as accepting, because some other organizations don't run it like that. It's still a little bit isolated, and your area is your area and the other person's area is the other person's area. But for us, they're team picks. Everybody's rooting for the best player for the Cardinals, whether it's the first round again or the 20th round. It's just we want to try to line up every round to have the best player for the Cardinals.
Does that also help? It was mentioned sometimes some of these scouts are going to have none of their, quote, their guys selected in a draft just because of how it works out. When you're looking at it more as team selections than the signing scout being the key guy, that has to help from a morale standpoint, that a scout doesn't walk out of there and go, man, what did I just do for the last 8 months?
Yeah, I've been an area scout. I was an area scout back when there was 50 rounds in the draft. So there was a lot more opportunities to get players. There was a lot more minor league spots. So you could generally always, now there's 20 rounds and there's 2 less teams than when I started. It's hard. Sometimes it's a little bit luck of the draw of how things shake out, and whatever happens, happens. So to keep guys engaged, again, we try to preach. It's just, they're all playing for the Cardinals. We work for the Cardinals and we want the big league team to be as good as they can be and in the good of position as they can be with the best farm system as we can create.
Just a few more minutes with Zach Mortimer. He is the director of amateur acquisition with the Cardinals. You've been in the organization for a while, but you got this promotion somewhat recently. And I've thought it's interesting because Heim came in and certainly he brought some people in, but man, he retained a lot of individuals. He pushed some people into different roles, but for a lot of baseball executives would walk into a new job and it would be just about finding their guys. And Heim has some of his guys, but it seemed like he worked really hard to take the existing people in the organization and either leaving them in the roles or finding better roles. And you're certainly an example of that.
Yeah, I think it's a credit to Heim. He did a good job in his 2 years of getting to know all of us and making sure he had people in the best positions to be successful. So I give him a ton of credit for creating the structure that allowed our amateur department to be as successful as we can. And I would be absolutely off base by not mentioning what Randy Flores has done for our department and what everything he's meant to us as a full department and as development individually. He's been a person that we all have leaned on since 2016. It's been a really long, fun road with him. And also we've been somewhat successful if you look at the scorecard since he's been there. So I think it's something you give Heim a bunch of credit, but you also give Flo a bunch of credit for creating the foundation. And a guy named Ty Boyles also was promoted to assistant director. He's been a guy would not be able to do my job without him being in his role. So the fact that they trusted the two of us to kind of help let Flo see other things and be a part of other things is awesome to be a part of. And we're glad keep pushing forward with the draft.
It's a great time to be talking to you because the top pick, Trevor Condon, he just got the promotion. He got moved up from the complex league to low A Palm Beach here over the last few days. Had a nice debut in his first game. That has to feel good for you guys. I know it's always about looking forward and looking to what that next draft is going to look like, but at the same time, there's pride in seeing these kids that get selected and to see the start of their careers and the success that they're having.
Yeah, you got to give Condon all the credit in the world for being a high school kid who had to take some time down, obviously, just from the season ending and not getting drafted until when he did. It's not the easiest thing to pick right back up. And to be able to work his way into a decision to be promoted to low A is just credit to himself, the worker that he is, his preparation and all the things that he puts into the game and his willingness to compete. I will give the kid all the credit in the world. He's not going to be scared of the moment. I know you guys have probably done interviews with him. He's ready to talk and he's ready to tell you how he's going to compete. Now he's going to impact the game.
What was the on-field part of his game that jumped out for you guys the most?
Yeah, we loved his ability to hit. He's competitive in the box on every AB. He's not going to give any ABs up. He's willing to really, really dig in and put pressure on himself to make sure he's got the best chance to impact the ball in positive counts. He's somebody that I just give a lot of credit for how he was able to develop as a hitter and playing in Greater Atlanta. It's a tough place to play. He's had to probably swim with the big fish for a long time down there and give himself, the ability to be most successful is something that's not the easiest to do in that space. Atlanta's not a place for the weak. You better be a good player. I mean, looking at Jordan Walker and what he was able to do, it's like it is a real test to play high school baseball down there. Now, is that the same as the professional level? No, but that is a little tougher test than some high school kids have to take. So it was just his ability to compete in the box and be successful as a hitter.
Since we have Zach Mortimer here, we're going to ask him about a few more guys that were drafted. We don't get this opportunity that often, so let's go. So we're going to go through just some of the top selections, competitive balance, round 8 pick. Tegan Coons was selected. He was another Tennessee guy that a lot of Tennessee pitchers have made their way into the Cardinals organization, and he's got some uniqueness to the way he goes about his craft.
Yeah, and Tegan, we've known him since high school. He's from Central PA, which is a place we scouted heavily in high school to see if he was ready to sign. Obviously, he worked his way to Tennessee, and we were just so impressed with the development he had there. To go there and compete as a freshman probably wasn't his best self, and he would admit that, and come back as a sophomore and just absolutely took huge steps forward. Velocity went way up, touching 98 with really, really good life on his fastball. Gives him such a chance to be successful pretty early. Now, the thing people don't really notice about him, I think, is his ability to throw strikes. He's a very confident strike thrower, and he's got big stuff. And when you can mix the ability to throw strikes with the stuff that he has, it's just incredible to turn a guy like that over to our player development with Rob Serfolio and Matt Pierpont. Those guys are two of the guys that I would trust as much as any in the game. I'm so impressed by the work that they're able to do with our pitchers that we draft. Just a real credit to them. And then Tegan being able to work through that is going to be just such an awesome to see how he develops.
Second round selection, and so many Cardinals fans and Cardinals draft folks were excited about this one. In shortstop, Rocco Maniscalco. He is super young, so there was I'm sure signability stuff when it came to that, making sure that you could get him into the organization. But when you're able to get somebody of that age in, what kind of extra challenges does that bring along with? Because there's just so much more development that can still happen.
Absolutely. Rocco is as young as just about any player that's ever been drafted in the draft. Credit to him. Again, he played against the 18-year-olds or the draft-eligible players last summer. That's something we found really, really impressive, is that he was not scared of the challenge. Was it tough for him at sometimes? Absolutely. But he was a full year younger than those guys, and he didn't play a year down per se. He could have and reclassed after the summer and not gone through the gauntlet that every other high school hitter goes through, but he was willing to challenge himself and go right at it, start in the middle of last summer. So that was one thing we were just so impressed. And then the upside is just incredible. Very, very impressive body that has a chance to put a lot of strength on it as he continues to develop it. And our strength and conditioning staff were just so excited to see a frame like his that we could work with. And then if you look at the defense, I mean, the kid is as good as you can ask for at shortstop at the same age. He is got a really, really big arm. His hands are good. He's very confident over there. And at the plate, he's got real power. He was somebody that came to our workout, was very impressive. We thought that the bat speed was just going to allow him, as he puts weight on his frame, to be somebody that can impact the ball to a level that is hard to find at the shortstop position.
It's good to remind folks that in a tough offseason, just in terms of players that Cardinals fans loved going away, there was value to that. And there was a couple draft picks acquired in the Brendan Donovan trade. And the first one was competitive balance round B pick. And you guys went with Andrew Williamson on that pick. And another guy that I know there's a lot of excitement about. Baseball America had him as the number 45 prospect in the 2026 class. So it feels like you got a ton of value in this pick.
Yeah, extremely excited to get a guy like Williamson. He's got power. There's a chance to go out and play center field at the next level. He's already doing so in the high A now. He's got an aggressive assignment, and that's how much they trust the kid. And again, for him, it's just as much the person as it is the player. He's somebody we really, really believe in. Great work ethic, great beliefs. We think he's going to put his best foot forward every day to make himself the best player. His relative was a manager in our system a couple years back, so we had some connections to Andrew. Johnny Rodriguez was a manager for us in short season many moons ago, but he's related to Andrew, and we knew a lot about the kid and about the player. So we trusted the person, really believe there's upside with the bat and on defense.
With another competitive balance round B pick, right-hand pitcher Dawson Matessa. Is this a guy that maybe there's a little bit more, the development process is going to take a little bit more? I mean, you look at a 2-pitch mix. I don't know if you guys want to add more to that, but it just, on paper, you would know more than I would for sure. But on paper, it seems like this is an upside selection here.
Yeah, it's about as fun as one you could ask in the draft. He's a former Division II guy from Adelphi who transferred, which is in New York City or suburban New York City, and transferred to West Virginia for 1 year. So this is somebody we feel like just scratching the surface of what he can be on the mound. Really, really excited about the package. Athletic, big velo, up to 98, can spin the ball really, really well, and just hasn't had the time to be exposed to everything that other people would be able to go through. And he's just somebody that I think going forward has as big of a growth process as anybody we could ask. It's just a real impressive guy, again, to put through with Surf and Pierpont. It's these guys are going to develop because I have so much confidence in our pitching development and what they've done. You can see what they've done to our prospects. It's really impressive.
Last guy I'll ask you about, you're being very gracious with your time, but this is self-serving because I'm a proud graduate of Kansas State. Shortstop D. Kennedy in the 4th round. Tell me that he's going to be just this superstar guy that's going to be with the Cardinals forever because of that the Kansas State bloodlines.
It's fun. I mean, we liked D back to high school. We had really, really aggressive reports on him in high school. We scouted him a bunch. Obviously, he eventually chose to go to the University of Texas out of high school before transferring to Kansas State. D has a great mix: athleticism, bat speed, power, potential, and then defense as well. I think he can be very versatile, filling up the middle on the infield, as well as possibly going to the outfield if needed. He's somebody we just have a world of expectations for. There's not much he can't do on the field, and he needs just a little bit of polish to get him to the next level. But when you put him with the hitting group with Dalton Hurd and Brock Hammett and those guys that are just allow him to just scratch the surface again, get to where he needs to get to, it's going to be a great project for us in the 4th round that has immense potential to pay off.
I cannot encourage our listeners more to go watch this Draft 365. If you go on YouTube, you just search Draft 365. You go to the Cardinals page. You can find it. It is a truly behind-the-scenes look at the Cardinals draft. It is incredible. Cardinals Productions did a great job, and so glad that we were able to spend some time today, a lot of time, with Zach Mortimer, Director of Amateur Acquisition with the Cardinals. Zach, thank you so much for being so gracious with your time and for being so willing to talk on this, because I think this is a video that is really worth it for Cardinals fans to get an inside look on what actually happens leading up to a draft.
Well, I appreciate it. I also wanted everybody to know that I think what makes our staff so successful is our connection to every department. I think hopefully the video, a little bit of that we're not just a scouting staff. We're a scouting staff and an analytics staff and a development staff and a computer technology staff. And we have such connection with each department. And I think that is one thing that allows our organization to just keep putting ourselves the best foot forward every day, is that we're not divided on any level. Even though baseball keeps changing, we keep growing together. Every department, we all really, really respect each other and really appreciative of the other's work. So the scouting staff, so impressive what they do, and I'm glad they got to capture a little bit, but we're also so impressed and thankful for everybody else. So really appreciate the time.
That is Zach Mortimer. Really appreciate him taking an extended amount of time with us to talk through his job, to talk through some of the players that the Cardinals recently drafted, and also talk through the very, very cool video that is available right now on the Cardinals YouTube. Again, it's called Draft 365, Scouting MLB's Future Stars, where you can follow the entire Cardinals scouting operation leading into the most recent draft. And with that, that's just about, we've run out of time. We had a lot of time there to talk with Mortimer, and we really appreciate him spending some time with us today. Cardinals are going to match up against the Phillies coming up tomorrow, so we'll have no Sports Open Line. It's another early start, 5:40 first pitch. Our coverage begin at 4:45. Thanks again for being tuned in, and we'll talk to you tomorrow for Cardinals baseball. This has been a Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.